evening, everybody. Welcome to live Monday night. And we got already first contestant, Coolies, in the house on the chat. So, with tonight, just not a lot of news. We're going to cover real quick with Sony Alpha rumors. Nothing crazy going on, really. Nothing super new, but there's a couple things we'll talk about real quick. So let me get in here and share the screen. And as always, make sure you let me know if we have any sound or video problems, so I can get that addressed right away. All right, so the first thing we see up here, shoe ads. All right. Ulanzi announced a new CA25 camera cooler with built-in battery. Now, I guess what this thing is just a clip-on fan that fits inside the slots of most of the flip-out side screen cameras. So they're talking that's the ZVE1 that they're showing, and we'd be looking at the new A6700, possibly the FX. Not the FX3, the A7S3 with the built-in cooling, or it doesn't have a built-in cooling fan. Now, thoughts on this are really, is it worth it? I mean, I guess if you're really in a hot environment, it may help keep the camera a little bit cooler, but without any kind of pass-through cooling, it's just pulling heat off the back of the camera. It could work. Now, upcoming video I have coming out here, hopefully this next week, if I get it finished, is going to be about a torture test I did with the FX30 and taking it out after work one day at 110 degrees and just putting it in direct sunlight and seeing how well it does. So look for that video coming out Sunday. So that's what they got here, is this little device that clips on, gives you a little bit of a fan. Don't know if it's any quiet or anything like that, but says it's got about a 55-minute runtime. So it definitely will help combat overheating issues. Really nothing else to really talk about. One of the things I had on my notes here was the Viltrox lenses they're mentioning. They've got a new 16 1.8 full frame, the FE full frame lens, and it's going to be $550. And then there's also a 75 1.2 APS-C lens. So what are your thoughts on these Viltrox lenses? And is it something that you have used or haven't used, or would you spend almost $600 on a aftermarket lens like this versus what you could be possibly getting from Sony for that same price, or another brand lens for that matter? Myself personally, I just don't see the money value in Viltrox, but I haven't shot them, so I don't know if they're any good. I don't know how the autofocus performance is, natively with the Sony cameras. Sony does a pretty good job sharing that data out to the lens manufacturers so they can get it tuned in pretty well. But these lenses, I think they've originally came out where a couple $100 or less, and now they've started making more and more lenses. So are they becoming more popular? Are people actually buying them? And are they worth it? Is the image quality there to justify this? I call it the mid-range price of a lens, because you've got the cheap end, I'd say sub $500. And then you got the $500 to $1,000 kind of mid-range area. And then, of course, anything over $1,000 is just an expensive piece of glass. So there's some videos out there. I haven't watched any. I try not to, watch too many reviews like that unless I'm really interested in a product. But that's where we're at with that one. And close this ad. And let's see. I don't think I really had anything much else to talk about from Sony Alpha rumors. I guess my next question would be, if you're a Sony shooter, what is your next? What's the next camera you'd like to see released? Now, we do have on the horizon, we've got an A7C Mark II, which is if you're not familiar with Sony, that's the compact full frame camera with kind of like the rangefinder style body like the APS-C cameras have. We've got an A9 Mark III on the horizon. Now, this is your photojournalism camera, kind of a workhorse camera. Has the high quality data transmission stuff in it. but they've always lacked the video side of it. So they're mainly photo-centric cameras. They can shoot video. I'd imagine a new one will have some sort of 10-bit recording with broadcast, possibly. I would think that would be a huge thing to put inside a camera, is some sort of broadcast system. Whether or not that's a capability or not, I don't know. But I think that camera is something like that. A lot of the news agencies may be using this type of camera, or photojournalists. Now, the other cameras on the horizon are also the new an A1 Mark II. So, are we going to see a new flagship camera come out? And then, of course, the not the FX, but the A7S III. Are we going to see a new version of that camera? Now, we waited so long for the A7S III to come out, but are we going to actually see that A7S III get replaced to an A7S IV? And what's its capabilities going to be? The A7S has always been the low light sensitivity camera. That's why it's always stayed a 12 megapixel 4K night monster. But in today's day of age, with 8K on the horizon, what do we think they'll do? Do we think they'll keep it 4K, or will we get a megapixel bump in it with really low light sensitivity to go to that 8K? So those are the questions I've got. Let me get this off my screen. I don't want that up there. Got to keep track of that. So the A7S III is a workhorse camera for video, but are we going to see a replacement, and is it going to have a future? Or are they going to they haven't updated the firmware like they did the FX series? So are they just planning to replace it? And I think it'll upset a lot of people if they do just replace it, because we waited so long for it. But what's on the horizon? What are your thoughts? Let's see what else. All right, so moving on in topic here, we've got just a little bit of a talking point I want to cover, and that's what makes a good photography niche for yourself, I guess, is one way to put it. I have the location I'm in is very flat, dry, deserty, and not a lot of great things to take pictures of landscape wise, to a point. Now, using the power of photography to look at anything out there in the environment through the lens, we get to see so many different things that are not normally seen by people just looking at it. And that's one of the powers of photography that I enjoy the most, is that you can take a landscape of a shot and you can morph it and change it. And that's why I like landscape photography. I think the most for me is being able to find that scene and change it and make it something enjoyable to look at, or find beauty where there is none, I guess, out there in the world of the world. Because like I said, where I'm at, it's dead flat. It's just not nice looking. Now, we get skies, we got lots of great things that do happen here, but just to take your picture doesn't work. Now, I made notes tonight. So yeah, landscape for me is tough because there's no easy locations. You can't just go and make a great image because it's great looking scenery. So you have to make it look good. And how do you do that? You do that through focal lengths. You get, changing your perspective, changing the depth of the image. Pictures are two-dimensional planes that are flat, but we have to present a three-dimensional image inside it. So where do we put our foreground, the midground, the background? How do you depth and layer that? Do we use shallow depth of field techniques? How do you do that in a landscape? And those are some of the challenges we have as landscape photographers, and what we get to figure out. Now, my other passion with photography is astrophotography, and then of course low light. I always liked low light shooting, long exposure. Like setting the shutter open for a while and seeing what you create. That to me has just always been fun and enjoyable with it, and it's something I like to do. So with that, if you have anything you want to add to that in comments, let me know in comments below. But otherwise, that's was just one of my talking points tonight was, finding that niche of your photography and what do you enjoy about it, and try to open up that line there. So if you are watching this after the fact, which it seems like quite a few of you are, and I'm hoping you're sticking around long enough to get through this point or portion of my lives, hit me up in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like button, and let me know you're there watching, and other topics that you're not available if you're not available to join me live, let me know in those comment sections. I do go back and check all that stuff. If there's a topic you want me to discuss, or if you have questions, anything like that. So yeah. All right. So let's see. Let me get this going here. We've got Cooley coming in here. Let's see. Let's get him on here. Here you go, Cooley. There you go. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about here real quick is we'll get back to the photography niche. So we'll definitely get back to that if you're really. Last thing I do want to cover is I've got a Facebook page for Malcolm Walker. The link will be in the description of this video after it's gone live. So I do want to do a few things in that, and mainly just to give us a place to share photos, share your craft, share those things onto that page to help connect us again. So like I said, if you want to share something with me, you can do it there through my Facebook page. I'm going to try to plan now. This is still, the Facebook page is still really a work in progress for me, but it's going to be hopefully like an upload challenge or a photo challenge type place where we can set up weekly challenges as more people get involved. I think we'll have a lot of fun with that. So it's definitely something I want to broadcast out there to you guys. That's there, and the link for that Facebook page will be in the description of all the videos moving forward. So, and again, like if you have questions for me, you want to hit me up there, you're more than welcome to. And then also, a big part of my community of subscribers has found me through the A7R2, and I want to make that an area for us to join in together and share the photos from that camera. So there's that. All right. So without further ado, please welcome.
Hey, so you were talking about landscape stuff.
Sure.
I think a really important part of that landscaping too, because I kind of found that out when I went to Upper UP to do some nature stuff, is the planning. Now, granted, my planning was, all right, I got 3 cases of camera stuff, and they all went in the back of my car.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I mean, I think, and there's like other stuff like, I forgot the name of the app, but I have an app that basically tells you where you're at, where the color temperature of the light is, and all that stuff. Plus, I have another app that if you're like inside a building or a house or something like that, and it'll find you and it'll tell you what angle of light is coming through the window and how it's changing. So you can kind
really?
of plot and kind of get a feeling of that too. So, but I mean, like I said, planning's like 90% of it.
Absolutely, it is. Yes. I mean, the planning side of it is something a lot of people don't realize that we put into
Yeah,
it to make a good shot. And when you're trying to plan an image out, uh, it's it's hard to just go and just, I'm going to just take some pictures. If you want to create an actual image that's unique or special, you get
yeah,
lucky, and I've been lucky a couple times, but
yeah,
more than often than not, you shoot 1,000 pictures on a trip, and you've got 1 or 2 that maybe you'll like want to keep.
yeah, yeah.
And that's a tough tough to be. That's a
Yeah.
tough ratio,
I came back with about 1,500 images, so I shot quite
right?
a bit.
The first time,
Thank God for big cards.
right? The first time, this is well before I had the cameras like I have now, but I still had point and shoots and stuff. The first time I rode around the White Rim Trail out of Moab in the
Uh-huh.
Canyonlands National Park.
Mhm.
I mean, that just it's a day long ride on a motorcycle. It says it takes 2 days to do it on a Jeep because of the speed limits. And we do it on a day on a bike, but it literally takes all day just because I was constantly stopping and taking pictures. It was like every eh, every turn you're like, oh my god, I gotta stop and get my camera out again, and take more pictures. And I had like 1,500
Yeah,
pictures from around that one trail.
I was
Uh,
I went on a trip with my dad one time. We did he had gotten a 55-foot offshore, so we decided from Florida to go all the way up the East Coast. We went into tributaries and stuff like that, and it was like a year or so before that they had those hurricanes come through. So you had
mhm.
these really, I feel bad for them, but they had some really cool like mangled kind of fishing boats around their sides and stuff and everything. And
Right.
basically, and then we went through New York at night with all the bridges and stuff like that. It was like the mothership of photo ops. Let me tell you, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a picture that we can talk about this planning on. And it was one I shared in my last video in Dallas there, that I've always wanted to discuss a little bit about because there's so much work that went into getting it figured out on my end,
Yeah,
even
getting to
though
that point. Yeah.
it's a common location. Here it is. I got it here. Let me share this here. No, don't remove that. What are you doing here? Oh, why is it stuck on that?
Oh,
Oh, I got it. I got to switch the screen out here. Tire screen. There we go. All right. So this is a very, I guess you could say, common location for this shot because it's the only location you can pull this shot off at.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And if you Google Dallas skyline, this photo, from all sorts of different photographers will pop up because it's.
yeah,
Um, but you need a telephoto lens to do it. You can't shoot this wide.
yeah.
And but anyways, I was going to Dallas first time I went there, and I was trying to figure out like, okay, I need to know where I need to go to take pictures. Now, I have a caveat to that: is it copying what somebody else has already done, or me just trying to get something unique for myself? And obviously, I think a lot of us as photographers copy what others have done. One, because we like it and that we want to try our hand at it,
Uh-huh.
but and in today's day and age, it's hard to be original and find something original to produce that's,
Yeah,
you can say, hey, I did that, or I was the first one to do that. And that stuff never really matters to me. But, you know, take your take on it. Every night's different. Something can be different every night or every day, and you just never know what you're
yeah,
going to get. But I found this image like this one. On Google search, trying to find Dallas skyline pictures, and then I didn't know anything about it other than basically what you see in my own image here. I see that the orientation of the buildings, we've got the Reunion Tower over here on the far right,
uh-huh.
and this exit. Okay, so I knew this picture's somewhat facing northwardly. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and I had to Google, and got on Google Maps, and I spent about an hour on Google Maps looking for this. I mean, I found the exit in the street, but it was finding the right spot on. I don't know what this highway is, and but ultimately, I figured it out. I figured out that it's called Edgefield Overpass or Edgefield Bridge, and that's the street I'm on an overpass over the interstate. I think it's 30 that goes into Dallas.
Oh, okay.
And this image is shot around 300 millimeter. So you have to have probably 200 or better to pull it off, I think. And then, of course, you just do a long exposure and you get, the awesome light trails. But the preparation I put into this was, before I left, I did a lot of planning and stuff on the computer, and then of
Mhm.
course, finding the location, learning how to get to that location, because I didn't want to be wasting all my time driving around trying to find it. So I had to pin drop it and get all that figured out and make sure I could get to it. You had to park and then walk to it from, because you can't park on the overpass. And of course, it's in a pretty quiet area, so it's nothing, you have to really, worry about in that location. But if you're by yourself with camera equipment, get like we were discussing last week, it's just you always
Yeah.
got to be looking out. But this is a fun image. I enjoyed it, and I would go back again if the opportunity presented to try a different night, different clouds or different scenery, whatever the case may be, different light color. Um, because that green building changes colors from day to day, so you never know which
Huh.
you're going to get. But it's usually green like every night of the week that I was there. It was green, except for the one night I was on top of the Reunion Tower and it was orange. So, but yeah, preparation's a huge part of it, and like you said, you got to go in with a plan and know what you want. Otherwise, you just not you're going to fumble around and not. You might get lucky, but you're not going to get something. And I think a lot of people just think, you know, I think of all the opportunities people have just walking around and something cool like where I'm like waiting took me, I'll use the video example that I had. I just posted the video. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it or not, but the shooting the sunrise in Dallas.
Yeah, yeah, that was the one with the you were having issues with the power lines, I think, right?
Yeah, the power lines are right
Yeah.
overhead,
See, what
and
I would have done was I would have grabbed like a 14 to 24. I would have got up either under or a little bit past those power lines and just gone crazy and do like a vertical, and then
hmm
basically just go all sky with a little bit of stuff here, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And then,
and, yeah, and I was able to get underneath them because, and the
uh
problem is the location. I was actually standing on a hillside. So I
uh
was right in the middle of the hill, right underneath the power lines, just where I could get them out of frame at 24 millimeter.
yeah,
Now, I could have moved back and probably maybe pulled off a 50 millimeter ish shot, but
yeah,
the problem is you go up so quickly onto um, it's basically that hillside's there
uh
as a levee. So
oh,
it's
okay.
it's a graded levee for the river if it ever really flooded, and we're talking flood over the bridges, like really steep.
See now,
And
yeah,
and that brings you closer to the power lines. It brings you up closer, where you just can't get far enough away to use telephoto.
right.
So it's a challenging location for that, but it, you have to work with what you got, and
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
but
I
that
mean,
was also a planning with that one. Like I didn't want to spend I didn't spend the time planning up front, and I didn't want to be worried about trying to catch a sunset while the sun's trying to come up, and like trying to figure out where I'm going to be. So I
yeah,
picked the spot, I stuck with it, and that's where I ended up. But I just think of like all the people walking by that when I was running the camera by that time, I was first one there by an hour. And then by the time I was leaving, the parking lot was full. Everybody's out doing their morning walk, enjoying the day. And, I just think like all the opportunities those people that come there every day or have seen some amazing scenes that don't get captured because, somebody like me or you are not there to capture that image,
yeah.
and
See now,
that's,
another thing I usually work into my plans too is I like to go out when there's a full moon because that helps with the shadow density.
oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, see, I am always the opposite. I'm always planning my night shoots without it because I'm usually doing stars and
Oh,
Milky
okay,
Way
yeah, yeah,
stuff. So
yeah,
then
yeah,
you can't have it.
yeah,
But
because it muddies up the sky. Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, I mean that's exactly it. If you're in a downtown or you're in a street environment, the full moon's a great time to go out.
hmm
Definitely has a lot of potential there to do that. Get my mouse back over here. So, but yeah, it's definitely um, it's fun. I mean, you gotta go out and find the stuff,
yeah.
and it's hard to just wander aimlessly and hope you find something like that shot. You know,
I always I always say, man, fail to plan, plan to fail. You know,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it
When
might be a little extreme, but
I think the most planning I've done for a shot was probably the Neowise Comet. Um, and even that kind of fell apart on us at the end of it because we had two possible locations. We were dealing with clouds and we didn't know if we were going to get it or not. And it was like, do we go north? Do we go south? I mean, we're talking 100-mile separation, you know, in the evening. Like
yeah.
we left it open up until that turn, like when we made a call.
Now, would you plan with knowing wind direction and know that if you walked into the wind and try to go more, say, east if the wind's blowing west, would that have helped with the sky clearing so you get a better shooting the comet and all that stuff?
It can. My biggest issue was a storm front coming in, so we were
Oh,
watching the radar really closely because the whole time we were driving that way, it was just like storm clouds the whole right where we needed to be, and we're like, man, is this? We don't know if this is going to happen or not, you know. So it's like we just had to play it by ear and like, you know, this is the night we picked. We're going for it. If it works out, it works out. If not, it's not. But um, the other thing I have to watch out for out here is the weather, especially if you're doing lightning or anything like that. You know, you're wanting to
yeah.
photograph it. You're watching weather like a hawk because it can come in on you hard, and the only protection you have would be your vehicle
And
because
then
there is no shelter out
everything was
here.
like Don King. Like,
Yeah.
hello.
So yeah, it's definitely is a it's a challenge, you know, and you got to plan for it all. And you
Yeah.
know, like I said, I've gotten lucky a few times with a couple of my own shots that I you know feel lucky with. But you know, I have another video on my YouTube, the rock wall with the Milky Way. You know, I'm going to be able to have the opportunity here shortly to go shoot that again. So I'm hoping just for clear skies. You know, I know it's the right
Yeah.
time of year for it. It'll be close to new moon that weekend because I was actually planning that weekend to go out to um, do Milky Way out far south, but I had something else come up at this location that it works out. I'm like, well, I'll be there. I can run the camera that night, so works out. But but yeah, it's just been plugging away at finding different spots to go shoot and try to find location and time to go out and do it.
Around us, we've got like a bunch of these farmers' fields. They're doing is growing sunflowers. So I want to go shoot some people with the sunflowers and stuff. If we
That's
get
really
to,
big where I was up at shooting wild sunflowers. There's the big sunflowers come in and they go up in the fields, and the photography up there is just photographers parked every mile, taking pictures on those fields.
every 10 feet, there's one. There's one.
Yeah. And then there's I don't know if you ever seen like the Texas blue bonnets, the images with the blue bonnets everywhere. Um,
Oh, oh, that's a flower, right? Yeah, bluebonnet.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a purplish blue flower and beautiful flowers. I mean, and out here, not where I'm at, but further south, you get just massive groves and fields of these things, and people go out and photograph in them, and to where you're taking portraits. That's all you see around them is those dang blue bonnets.
That's
But
cool.
I've been by those fields while it's in season, and
Um,
it would be a madhouse to try to get in there and get a shot without anybody else in it, because it's just right outside of Dallas or outside of Austin or Houston, and it's just like people are just that's where they're at, just trying to take pictures of that stuff and be a
yeah.
mess.
I did a shoot one time it was a model I was photographing, and we went out and like 30 minutes from here, there's this farmer, and he grows all these like purple flowers. I mean, nothing but a field of purple flowers. So we get there like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then like I think I want to say like 7 is when the sun raised, and we're out there, and well, I'm allergic to the purple flowers, but I figure,
Oh,
well, I'll take one for the I don't know for the I'll take one for the photo gods, I guess. So we go out there, and I'm like, my eyes are watering. I'm like, oh, but I'm photographing this mom, like, and I'm like, oh, and I got really good stuff, but it almost killed me. Hey, no blood, no foul, right?
Yeah, right.
Miles like,
Yeah.
Sam, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm okay. But as soon as we got out there, man, I cranked up the AC and blew it in my face, and I was like, about 20 minutes later, I was okay. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's definitely is it's hard to get anywhere new out here just because it's so far to drive. I mean, even just to get anywhere decent can take you an hour to get, far enough away from town or like that. I know there's that meteor shower. I think it's tonight or no, I think it's tomorrow night and it peaks on the first and second, I think.
Huh?
And I've thought about trying to get out, one night this week to go shoot it. And I haven't decided if I'm going to yet. I haven't, meteor showers are cool, but I don't know how great an image you can get with them. It's like you can
They're
get, as long
cool
as
to
you got
watch. Though. Me and my daughter did.
oh,
They had, I forget what when it was, and we basically laid down facing up on the deck and just were like, "Oh, there goes one. Oh, there
hmm
goes one." I
yeah,
mean, it's so dark.
right. And I've, when wanting to go out and maybe try my luck with it, and I think the moon's up pretty much high right now, so
Yeah. Well, the
it's
first
gonna,
is supposed to be a full moon, so
yeah. So I think the that's going to kill any kind of Milky Way photography for you as far as getting, a Milky Way shot with a bunch of streaks through it.
yeah.
Um, and then again, like I said, I've successfully shot the Milky Way at about 45 minutes out of town here, just in some dark areas. But that's with dark skies. I don't
Yeah.
think you'd get anything with the moon up. I know you wouldn't. It has to be so dark for it to show up.
Did you see that Pee Wee Herman died?
I did see that today.
I didn't even know he was alive.
He was he had a private battle with cancer, as far as I know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
no more. Anyway,
right. Yeah,
I wonder how that guy's life was. Imagine being a kid's, I guess, sort of a kid's. Because he had Pee Wee Herman's uh, playhouse, I think it was,
hmm
and all the little kids loved him. Because that's just, I mean, imagine it seems like you hit your pinnacle, and then, but I'm sure as an actor, you want to hit this level, but you're kind of stuck at this level because you're only appealing to little kids.
right. Well, didn't he go away for some time for some stuff?
Oh yeah, he got busted in a movies place doing some not nice stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm like, really, really? There goes Pee Wee Herman. We're going to hell for sure now.
Yeah. That's that's crazy with people.
Yeah.
But
We should get
well,
Kevin on
how's
here.
who?
We should get Kevin on here, but he probably
Yeah,
don't like. He probably don't like this no more. I'm just kidding.
no, I don't know what he's doing.
He changed the name of his YouTube thing, and it's
Right.
really cool because he'll like. I mean, he basically camps out of his little. I think it's a Jeep, whatever it is,
hmm
and I don't know,
Yeah, it's a
red dog or
red leg
red
outdoor.
leg. Yeah.
Um, yeah, he got a new video out 6 days ago. I gotta watch that one.
Yeah.
Car camping in a rainstorm. He's got good views on it too.
Yeah. I wonder. I was watching this one video talking about video people, YouTube people getting monetized.
hmm
I'm wondering if he's got to gotten monetized by now, right?
Yeah, I should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I
'Cause
mean,
you-
I'm
well, you
monetized, and
yeah.
I had my. It's what you people. More people get to their 1,000 subscribers before they get the 4,000 watch hours. Now, I haven't heard officially, but I thought I heard something that YouTube changed to 500 subscribers now.
Huh.
But I haven't checked into that myself. But no, he should have had it 1,000 and 4,000 watch hours. So that's the tricky part for people. Now I got lucky on my end because I had a video go quote unquote somewhat viral that got me a lot of watch time in a few months.
Uh-huh.
So I hit my 4,000 hours pretty quick compared to where most people were that were at the thousands of subscribers. And
Yeah.
I think I was at like 500 or 600 subscribers when I had my hours. So it just took a long time to get my subscriber base up. And I went through a pretty good pull with that video of getting constant subscribers and getting to a point where I thought I was going to hit it, and then it like fell off, and I took another 4 or 5 months. It was like, ah, dang, I thought I had it by the end of the year, and then it didn't happen,
Oh wow.
and it took a while. But anymore, I'm not too worried about my subscriber count. So the next milestone is so far away. I don't even want to fathom what it would take to get there, or even think about trying to get there. I just let it happen, And
Well, how many viewers do you have now?
4. I'll be 4 in August, I think.
4,000.
Oh, I'm sorry. How many what?
How many viewers?
Oh, viewers. I have 1,300 subscribers right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, let me go to the analytics here real quick because I have. It's what blows me away, and this is what's crazy. Even at the numbers I'm getting, go to my audience. So I have a. In fact, I can show this probably. So let me just make this big. So he wants to see what it's like to have 1,000 to 1,300 subscribers every day. My numbers have gone down a lot in the last 3 months because I just stopped uploading and I just didn't didn't stay busy with it.
Oh wow.
But so like this is in the last 28 days. I've had 20 subscribers, which is one less than usual. Unique viewers is 5.9 thousand viewers. So it's 5.9 or 5,900 people are new this month and have watched my channel for the first time.
Huh.
But 461 have returned. So if you go on this scale right here, it gives you this metric. July 14th, returning viewers is 28 and new viewers is 199. But I constantly have this 26 to 30 returning viewers every day. And then here's my video upload from 2 weeks ago. I had 63 return viewers come in. So I get a peak on my viewership for the day I upload new videos. And, then of course it hasn't processed the last few days, but it's weird because it's like, I can't believe that 30 people watch me every day that have seen my channel. That just to me is mind boggling that, that happens. But yeah, I mean, my metrics here, this is basically what I'm looking at every day is, my revenue is, it says I've earned about $17 in the last 28 days, which is low. Usually it's sitting around $20 to $21 as my AdSense revenue. And YouTube only pays out after. What's that?
I said it might get you a tank of gas.
Yeah, every 3 to 4 months. It's not massive, but about the same numbers come from Amazon affiliate links. So, so then you got my subscriber counts, and this metric, shows you your drop offs. I lost 2 one day, which is weird to me that, like one day I'll lose a bunch and then I don't gain, but I'm consistently gaining subscribers still, just at a much slower rate than I was in the past. And I contribute a lot of that to this video right here, because this is my top performing video that's done me really well, and it's been out since January of 2021.
Oh, okay.
But my watch time, this is where you get paid off of you have to maintain 4,000 hours a year to stay monetized. So I'm getting, 12.4 hours a day. That one's 10.6, real low. High spot's 20 hours in the day. But these are this is the day I went live on the A6700. So that's a big day for me because, um, 2020, I got a bump of about, I don't know, 7 hours or so that day from that live video we did. And then here's video release 14.7, and then another live got 21.3. So the lives give it quite a bump. I'm surprised, um, what they do. But in the last 48 hours, I've had 538 views, and here's my subscriber count. I'm at 1317 right now.
Huh.
So, and then you can click into the live counter, and I've got a nice steady increase over this last few, or actually this is 28 days. Let's go to last year. I'm constantly going up. It's kind of leveled off a little bit here. It's been slow, but I think I contribute that to just my lack of uploads and lack of being on the platform for the last couple of months, other than the lives. But yeah, it's slowly building up. So see, I hit my 1,000. Yeah, I had a big bump. My wife put a thing out there. So September 1st or so was when I hit or August 31st I hit my 1,000. So I'll be at a year to get to the 300 I've been at here in the end of the month. So I suspect I'll be around 1340. I'm guessing by the end of this month or by the end of next month. So about 300 to 400 subscribers a year right now is what I'm putting. My channel's doing, and there's a lot of okay, so here's like the view count. So I'm at 7.2. This number's usually much higher, and it's like I said, it went down because of my lack of being on the platform. If you don't posting videos consistently, you see a drop off, and I'm good with 500 views a day or every 250 views a day, but I was upwards of 300, 350 at the peaks. And then you stop posting and it disappears. So, and then if you click into like the video, like I said, this is my review of my A7R2, and when I click into it did fantastically well for me. From the and it was a slow start. In the first month it was out, it was typical views for me, but then it just took off and it just started climbing, fast. And then I remember, when it finally hit 100,000, was it earlier this year, April? Yeah, about May it hit 100,000 views. It's leveled off a lot, but it stays consistent right now on the channel. And like I said, it gives me all the watch time. So this video alone since it was published, it's like in the last year, it is about half my performance. Like I said, I got to maintain 4,000 watch hours a year, and this video is half of my channel. If it wasn't for this video, I probably wouldn't be monetized. Because I had subscribers too. That's in the last since upload, it was 659.
So who's like the really well-known, what I would classify as famous Sony photographers?
Early on, I would say it was Jason Lanier, because he picked up the mirrorless kind of around the time of this camera. The A7, well, even before the A7R2 came out, he was shooting the A7 II and picking up mirrorless. But I don't know if you ever followed him or not. He's a really good photographer. And
yeah, I've seen him before. Yeah, he seemed like he'd be fun too.
What's that?
Seemed like he'd be fun, also.
Yeah. And he had some bad falling out with YouTube and being on social media, and leave you to that.
It was like, what the heck?
Yeah. And it really killed him. I mean, his YouTube growth just stopped in its tracks. And even I don't enjoy watching his videos as much anymore since all that happened. He's kind of changed, I think. But he was a big inspiration for me to get into it. And it wasn't him on Sony cameras by any means, but it was the fact that he was shooting what I wanted to shoot, was where I started following him. and I learned a lot from him through his videos, and he offered a
I used to
lot.
watch them all the time too. Yeah.
Beyond that, right now, Jason Vong is another big Sony shooter out there. He's been around the YouTube scene for several years, and
Yeah.
shooting Sony and talking about it. Um,
So, what would you have to do go about to get them to come on your challenge and do like kind of a question and answer kind of thing? I don't know.
yeah, it would be a lot, I bet, to get somebody like that on there. And I don't necessarily really want that. I don't want a handout, or I want my channel to be, uh, what's the term? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't want it to be artificial. I want it to develop naturally, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
there's a term for it.
yeah.
Um, but anyways, that's what I really want from my channel, is to be able to do well, that way. This video helped me a lot with the A7R2, because it pushed number one. When you typed in Sony A7R2, it was number one for two years solid.
Hmm.
It was ahead of a couple other. It was ahead of Tony Northrup's. It was ahead of Kai. If you ever watch Kai,
Yeah.
is it Kai? Yeah, he was on the Digital Rev, I think, in the beginning, and then they left that and went off and did his own thing. Um, it outpowered a lot of them, and that's having that number one video made a huge difference. Now, being this was, at the time, it was 4 or 5 years old, so it wasn't something that um, was popular, but obviously it's still popular enough.
Hmm.
But yeah, I had really good feedback from it, from comments, and everybody just seemed to enjoy this video, and it has a decent watch time when you go down. This is key, and this is where I have never hit on my channel, is sharing it, is this analytic here, this gradual drop off in your watch time. So this is the percentage of viewers that stay with the video throughout. And this is one of my highest rated at 35.1% average percent viewed.
Hmm.
And then if you click into it, it shows you the metric of, where in the video you had percentage of the viewers to how many were still there at that time.
Hmm.
And this was having this, they say this shape right here is what you want to see in your video to be a good video. And obviously YouTube algorithm picked it up and started putting it out there as a video, but it took several weeks for it to do it. And that's one of the things that's weird when I post a video, is you just don't know which one's going to take off. A video I made, I'll go back to it here, about this little Sony voice recorder. Like, I picked one up. At the time I was just making searchable content, and I did a review on it. And this video, look at this graph across this one. It's 37.8, and it's a solid flat line all the way across, pretty much.
Hmm.
And I think this video is trending number one for this little unit. So when you search it, my video comes up first for it.
Hmm.
And it's been a big push of watch time and everything on the channel. So it's definitely it's one I made, and I was like, I don't know why I even made that video. And then you you get into the because when it just started out, I had we're at views, the first month it started doing fairly well, and then it just kept climbing and going, and it's we're at 25,000 views now,
Wow.
and it's still a current model. It's still being sold, uh, and then another one. It's this one. Uh, it's another video that's done really well for me. Nice flat 35% line, and it actually finally, I think, paid for itself. The case I bought. And I've sold a lot of these cases on my affiliate link on this one.
Hmm.
And all it is the plastic case that I run on my laptop. Um, so you just never know what's going to hit and what's going to do, because one thing's popular, some stuff takes off. So yeah, it's definitely is. It's interesting to see the numbers and what you get out of the channel. I remember, the first time I was, uh, started to put videos out and how slow the growth was. But it was like by the end of the week, I had 10 or 15 views on a video, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty good, And it continues to grow. Like if you put the effort into it, it snowballs and just gets bigger and bigger as you go. But I've been out of snow for a long time. I've been at this level I've been at, and it's just constant. There's no growth. It's just there's growth, but it's a very constant, slow,
Yeah.
maintained growth. And I don't know what the video will or what this channel's where it's ever going to go. But yeah, I'd like to be. My goals would be to be a one of the leading Sony information resources on YouTube and get there. And as guys get older and tired of doing this, they're going to step down and make room for the younger guys come in, or the guys like me that maybe know something or not.
It'd be cool if you get to the point where somebody just sends you a bunch of free stuff.
Yeah, it's hit and miss on that stuff, whether or not it's worth it or not.
Yeah.
But I have gotten some free stuff, and it's been for videos. It's good. I get lots of cell phone offers. I get about one or two every month on cell phones
Huh.
for cases and stuff because I have a case video out there.
That's cool.
So, but the ones I've been getting aren't really anything that I want, and so I don't pursue it. I only really interested in taking on anything if it's something I can use and need and a benefit what the channel's based around. And I did a little bit of a Mac push off with when I got my Mac computer for the first time and the mouse and stuff like that. And those videos all tanked. They just didn't do nothing. They just shriveled up and died. And it's like, obviously I'm not a Mac channel, so you can't branch off and just do whatever. So that's definitely something you have to watch out for is there's videos I want to make that I could make just to make them, but it's like, I do want to make videos that at least progress the channel a little bit and go a certain direction. So if it's not Sony gear related or photography gear related or me out shooting my cameras, then it's just not something I'm going to produce.
Huh. I don't know. I think some of these Nikon people are just like way too. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got Nikon. I use Nikon, but some of these people are just like obsessed.
Yeah, they're all that way with new cameras. Now the
Yeah.
Nikon crowd, granted, they've been waiting. They got their high end stuff finally. Just put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been just used to having all this latest and greatest Sony gear around the corner every 3 weeks. It seems like they were dropping a new camera forever, and I don't stay up.
Class,
Yeah, and I don't stay up with it just because it's just so much work, and I'm not front and leading with the information. I'm watching YouTube videos to get my information off of it, so it's hard to regurgitate it, and that's not something I really want to do, but I do it to a point just to try to get people to notice me. I guess would be one way to put it. Is just put something out like the live 3 weeks ago. I put the top of the A6700 camera that came out on the video. We made it a topic of discussion for the night. I talked about it, and that's stuff I can do and give my opinion on it. But until I actually see or get the camera in my hands, I can't do it. Now I have my FX30, and it's really hard for me to want to create content with it because I'm constantly using it to just film myself. I bought it to be my workhorse in the YouTube studio, and that's where I've transitioned, a lot of my videos back to my A7R2. And again, that's half my viewership is based around that camera. So
yeah,
people that came to this channel, I try to produce content with that camera and about that camera. I'm going to be going through it here pretty soon to really, dive into the menus and do updates like that, because there's all that stuff's out there, but it's all 7 years old now on YouTube. It's dated, so I'm hoping that by producing some of that content, it'll bring more life to that unit. That's the plan for me, anyways, with that. Because but I've got lots of video ideas, lots of stuff that I want to try to do and shoot. We've got lists. I don't. I think you were there in Robert's last video, right? And we were sharing our notepad list of all the video ideas we have.
Yeah, yeah.
As they come up. So yeah, there's always an idea to have, and it's just finding the time to sit down, and record it, and do it. And I've got one that I need to do, and I got to get recording because I'm going to run out of editing stuff here pretty soon. I'm in the middle of this Sunday's video coming out, and the edit of that. Once it's edited, I don't have anything else to really recorded that I can jump into.
Huh.
So I always try to get something recorded that I can do. So thinking about studio tour. That's where I've been kind of really been pushing my head. I've recorded it like 3 or 4 times over the years, but never really produced a video from it.
Huh.
But this live setup, it's an entry level setup for this live. I figured I'm going to base it around that and have, talk about what it takes to put on this live setup that what I've got going.
Yeah.
Might be worth somebody's interest.
Now, focus is really nice though. I mean,
what's that?
I sense what you have now. Focus is really nice, and when you move around, it keeps up with you.
Yeah, no, that camera is something else with the eye autofocus. It just locks on my eye, and it don't budge. I can do just about everything with it. It stays right there. It's nice having that, and that's one thing I was missing. Like with this camera, it's horrible with it on YouTube. It works, but you get the hunting, you get trying to keep track. If it's any kind of dim lit, it struggles. There's definitely issues there, and stuff I want to try to correct. But that's why I bought this camera, this FX30. This will be my YouTube studio camera right here. And I'm blown.
FX30 can do regular images too, or just do video?
No, it can take pictures. I don't think I ever have with it. It's kind of cumbersome to switch modes in it, but it doesn't have a shutter. It's electronic all the way.
Huh.
So not that that's a huge deal, but for photography purposes, yeah, it doesn't have an actual shutter inside it. It will take some awesome still pictures, but it is 26 megapixel, and it's a nice camera still. It's got all the trickiest autofocusing stuff that all the other cameras have. It has in it. It's really just missing the mechanical shutter. They just didn't give it to it. I wish they had put an ND filter in its place since they took the shutter out. That would have been cool. But I bought it for video camera, and that's. I mean, I had an A7 III. It's Sony's A7 III was their ultimate hybrid camera for many years when it came out. They just recently replaced it, and it was a video camera to me. I didn't ever use it as photo. I still grabbed my R2. And the A7 III was a great camera, and I should have produced more content around it, but it was my video camera. It's what I filmed all this stuff with, and it's hard to. I almost tonight I was like, I should set up this because I can stream on this one. I think they did the update about a year and a half ago or so, where gave this little ZV-1 the USB streaming capability.
And
I thought about putting it up and setting it up to do this tonight and pulling the FX30 out and talking about it, but I was like, I don't have a plan for that yet. I won't do it yet, and we'll see if I can actually plan a video out with it like that, have it in front of me and get people involved with it to try to ask questions or answer questions for people with it. So as long as I can stream with that other camera, we'll be good for a night. But it's not a cheap rig. I mean, it's $2,600, $3,800, $3,800 setup right there.
Oh wow.
For a camera and a lens, because I'm shooting 24 millimeter at f1.4 right now. But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun process. I have enjoyed YouTube. It's been a learning curve that nobody gets a lesson on until you do it, really. And I don't spend nearly enough time you know, understanding all the nuances and how to grow a channel and how to make it more popular, or change my editing technique, or I know things I should be doing that I just don't do, or I just let the growth be natural in it and just let it just take its course.
I hear you.
But this live thing has been, I've really enjoyed doing it. It's easy to connect with people. It's you get a lot of what do you call it? You get a lot more interaction with people, with it. And it makes it more real. And like I said, the community we've built with Robert and
Yeah.
Chuck and those guys, it's
I wonder how Chuck's doing it. They say he's back from the hospital and all that stuff, but
he was in. I was in Selected Imagery's video on Saturday, just here and there. I let it play, but I was just doing other things. But he did hop in the comments at one point and was talking to people. So
yeah. What
yeah,
happened to him, do you know?
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard what happened. I didn't go back up in the comments to see if he said anything or not, but he was there in the comments talking, saying he was getting better, and he's on the downhill slope now, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully he's getting better, back to normal. But yeah, it's just it's I think there's these bubbles of YouTube where the creators are together, and different creators follow different people, and
Hmm.
um, I'd like to build this channel up to be kind of a Sony centric area,
Yeah.
it's my brand that I know, and I've been with it for a number of years, well before YouTube. I mean, I've been a Sony guy since I was a little kid, and I have a lot of their products over the years, and
My
you
thing
know,
was TVs and VCRs and DVD players and
I've got Sony's very first high-end DVD player sitting right there on the shelf
oh
back in
wow.
1995 when they first came out with DVDs. I think that was it was my dad's. I've got it now because I've kept a lot of the equipment he's wanted to get rid of over the years. But basically, it was his. I still use the hell out of it growing
Yeah.
up, but with a full-on big giant deck, power front door that folds down, the tray comes out for the DVD slot, and to this day, it's still sought after because it's got a discrete. It's got the dual laser in it. So there's a DVD laser in it for the DVD operation, and then there's a whole separate discrete laser just for CD audio, and because it's CD player, and apparently that CD player portion of this thing is just audiophily, dreams, and they still go for some money on eBay
Huh.
because that's just one of those units that's just held up over time.
I remember as a kid, I had when they still had cassette decks. I had the old Nakamichi cassette decks,
Mm-hmm.
where instead of the head flipping and turning, the whole cassette deck would come out and flip out and go back in again.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, I'm like, who knows where that is now?
It'd
You
be
know?
worth something if you find it.
Yeah. And I had reel to reel. That man, that was like that was the bomb.
Yeah, my dad had some really nice old Pioneer reel to reel and some other piece of equipment. And this is I'm going back to probably like '95, so
Yeah.
I was just a kid then. But um, it I know he sold it on eBay when it all became kind of eBay was starting up, and he started
Yeah.
selling a lot of his old equipment that he's had over the years. He's kept really good shape, and then it's weird, like some of the old computer stuff he had. It was worth a little bit of money, and then it just tanked for years, and
Hmm.
now it's just skyrocketing. Like the values of what this old stuff's worth.
Well, now they're saying the film cameras are coming back.
Yeah, there's a big fad on the YouTube I've noticed with a lot of creators doing film and shooting film, and becoming a film photographer again, because a lot of people are being introduced to it for the first time, or just learning that it existed even, and
Yeah. I kind of miss those days where you sit in your dark room and it was hilarious. I had a old Sansui receiver. It was like a 400-watt receiver back then, and
Mm-hmm.
it still had the glass tubes in it. Because one day I took it, opened it up, just look and see what was in there,
Yeah.
and then I had a bunch of Serwin Vega speakers that would. I mean, oh my God, I could get my dark room so loud. It was like remember one time, the first time I ever played Peter Frampton Comes Alive.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it sounded like you're at the concert.
I've got a pair of Certain Vegas in here. That's always been my speaker of choice.
Oh
And
yeah.
my dad, when he moved to Texas here, he bought a big giant. I think they're 4-way, 15-inch driver Vegas. I mean, big giant sons of guns, and bought the CERN Vega amp for them, and they're nice. But years ago, we bought these, or he did, and I ended up with a lot of the stuff he's gotten rid of. But these are I'm gonna have to do the studio tour. It's the only way I'm gonna get these things on camera. Uh, they're the Q1s,
uh,
and they they're nothing really special. It's just a little 2-way 10-inch driver speaker, a nice wood cabinet, floor standing, and these things just crank. I mean, just holy cow!
I had some I had some Infinity SM-112s that were like, and they had like high end, mid range, low range tweeters, and it had these giant subwoofers that just,
Hmm.
oh my God. One time I listened to Phantom of the Opera and was like, wow.
Yeah, these little 10-inch drivers have like a 9-pound magnet on them. I mean, they were a high end speaker back in the day for certain Vega, and they've they've held up the test of time. We own 5 of them because my dad used one at every channel in his surround sound in the 90s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They had left, center, right, and there were 2 rears. So one's been
Yeah,
in storage for
these
years,
like
and he's got a
quadraphonic.
pair. What's that?
Remember when they had quadraphonics where you had like like you said, like every speaker was individually doing something. It was and I had an older receiver that did that, and when I would listen to, I don't know, you probably wouldn't remember them. It was the Loop FM 98. They had they called it headphones only, and there was some crazy stuff like done by Pink Floyd and
Oh yeah,
that kind of, and Peter Gabriel and stuff, and it was just like, I mean, it almost felt like you're in the studio with them when they were doing the song. It was like, you know,
real quick, I just want to welcome Matthew. Join us in the comments. Good evening, Matthew. How you doing, sir?
hey, come on too. What the heck?
Yeah, join in live, man.
Yeah.
Get your stream set up, or you gotta use your phone. Just, the link's not there. Let me know if you want to come in. Um, no, and I've always had a big stereo system and loud music to enjoy, and I
Oh,
listen to mini discs, and my dad still has his DAT deck. I've been wanting to get one of them, but it's low on the priority list.
yeah.
And um, let's see what else. What else we got here? Yeah, the having music that you can physically tangible music. I've always liked it. I always liked putting something in to listen to, and
Yeah.
MP3 files are great, or even high quality like lossless music formats. Now I love those formats, but I still like tangible music. It's
Yeah.
weird, but just be able to go in and just put my mini disc in and hit play and select the track, or I don't know, just it's there's something
Listening
about
to
it.
tunes and reading what they were thinking when they made this song and stuff and everything. Because even in the CDs, you pull out the sheet as they like little squares. You read each one of them.
Yeah. Matthew's asking not set up. That's fine. Do you guys do Amazon Influence Program? I am an Amazon affiliate, so I have links in my comments of all my video, or not comments, in the description of all my videos that are links to my affiliate page. So if you do click it, even if you don't buy that product or you use it on anything else, I end up with a little cut of that. You don't see any price changes in your pricing when you do that either. I even try to. I'm really bad at it, but I always try to remember to use my link when I go to buy something because it's like a discount.
Mm-hmm.
But we always forget. but um, but yeah, the affiliate links. So yeah, they do okay for me. I mean, I said it's anywhere from. Well, I got burned. I got burned on one deal because I don't get very big sales, right? So like, I think that my first affiliate link sale was like 47 cents, and I'm like, oh my god, I made 47 cents from somebody clicking a
Woohoo!
link, you know,
Big money.
and it's very inconsistent. There's no pattern to the affiliate link. So one day I'll have like 40 clicks, and the next day I have none, you know, and then the next day I'll have 10, and then the next day I have 40 or 100. And it's very inconsistent. I think the clicks are depending what people click and then how often they click on through my link, you know, to different products counts as clicks, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
during Prime Day, I had like 350 clicks, and I think that between those 2 days, I made like close to $5,
Wow, big
you
money.
know, but every little bit, you know, trickles in over time, and you know it makes about $20 a month, and they pay you out every month if you got more than like 15 or $20. But I sold I had somebody buy an A7R2 off a link of mine, and I got commission from that, which was a big. I was like I think $70 commission, which I thought was cool at the time.
Oh wow.
And then I sold a MacBook Pro 14. Well, I didn't sell it, but you know, somebody clicked the link, I should say, and I got like a $70, you know, payday from that. And I thought, well, that's awesome. Well, it like processed through the month, so I got full credit for it. And then the next day, after the month cleared, it like went negative $70. Somebody like they took it, they said, "Oh, we're not paying commission on that," or they returned it. One of the two things happened. And because if they do a return, you see a debit, you know, like it comes back off your affiliate.
Yeah.
And yeah, anyways, it got returned, and I see the money go away. Well, now ever since things, it's happened fairly recently. I've been in the negative, so I got a big payday from them not too long ago, but I've been in the negative since then, building back up that from that sale. So anything going through the affiliate now is like not there because it's what do you call it? It's I'm paying myself back, or it's paying me back that first big check I got. So Matthew, what are you shooting? Matthew brings you in tonight. What you got going on? But hey, you got a washer or dryer going over there, Cooley?
Huh?
You got a
You
washer or
mean?
dryer? Yeah.
No, it's my ceiling fan making like a little, like a squeak noise.
Oh, okay, okay. It sounds like
Yeah.
a washer chugging through the cycle.
Yeah. Today was pretty much my day. Yesterday I had a post to my fence. The bottom just cracked, and like a section of the fence just kind of went like kind of fell backwards a little bit. So yesterday my brother came over and we dug out the cement that the post was in. Good
Mm-hmm.
grief! It was like 5 feet long. The section that they put the post in. I'm like, what the heck?
Well, it
I
wasn't
mean,
supposed to go nowhere.
so now it's laying in my yard on its side. I got a friend of mine's going to come over and take it to the dump for me, but it's like, I'm like, it was like, let's take the most cement we could ever take to put a fence post in.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, someday somebody's gonna pull my new fence out I built, and they're gonna come across something similar. But I had my reasoning for it.
Yeah.
It was a major cornerstone with no supporting structure around it. So it's three poles and like a 3.5 foot area cemented in against concrete. But the next span is 16 foot away to the next post pole. So
Oh, okay.
and that pole is actually floating. It's actually just there as a corner to another 1.5 foot to the cemented in pole, which I had to reuse, which was in my driveway. So I had to I built it around, and then like I said, I where the in that big area with the three poles all right next to each other. One's holding the
Uh,
gate for the yard access, which is a big giant 6 foot wide gate, and then that whole wall is supporting that 16 foot span. So actually came out really nice. I double joint all my joists, so I had 2x6s going across, and then I got 2x6s going across the top. I mean, it's a solid fence.
Yeah, I mean, my fence, I could probably stand off like a small army with the way they put that fence up, But
Hmm.
because I took like those like they look like Thomas Edison bulbs, uh, but they got those. They're on the wire that hang and they go across.
Yeah.
Well, I got like three or four of them, and from the one corner where the garbage cans are, back into the corner and to the side, there's these lights. So I have a like a timer that when as soon as it gets dark, the lights come on for like 2 hours. They turn themselves off. But I mean, what I do sometimes though is when I'm photographing like a high school senior, and want to do something kind of cool, I'll have those lights on, and I use
Oh,
that
nice.
the warmth of the light to kind of light them with. And I have like a couple 8200s or just one I use sometimes with a little softbox to kind of throw a little detail into the shadows and stuff.
Uh
And
huh.
I guess it's pretty nice stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And I
Yeah,
just
I always
spent,
like having that background ambient light. I got yard lights in my place, and
yeah.
I need to do the backyard, but we got our front yard all decked out. But we have it's actually in ground 12 volt. I got
Oh
like
wow.
they got little power transformers that, and I got wires buried on the ground, so all the lights come on. There's no solar power needed. It's just they come on a timer. They run all night, and I'd let them turn off it in the morning sometime.
Oh okay.
But
I just redid my deck. Yeah, 15 grand later.
yeah, I
Uh,
know,
well,
crazy.
just for the because I went Trek, and
Oh yeah,
so that then I had some people like paid to put the stuff in and everything like that. But when
when
I redid the railing, the caps, I put on like these like the caps are solar powered, so when it gets
right,
dark, it comes on. Well, the joke
yeah.
now is everybody's waiting for a helicopter to land in my swimming pool because literally every post around the whole deck
It's all
has
lit
these
up.
lights on it. Yeah,
Nice,
I must.
nice.
Yeah, I went a little over nuts on it and stuff.
Yeah,
So, but
that's cool.
it looks. I mean, it's good. Probably if whenever I get a chance, it'll probably look for cool for photos. I'm shooting miles and stuff in the evening. Maybe I don't know.
How's the studio going? Did you get that dialed in
I
yet?
have. You know, I've called this guy 2 times, 3 times, and they keep throwing back at me. They want both those storefronts rented at the same time.
What?
So it's like it's $3,000. And I could probably hustle up enough work to pull that load. But I mean, why should I?
Yeah,
I mean,
you think that at least want to cover half their costs, than just letting it sit there,
there must be some weird government rebate that they're giving people. Yeah, don't rent out your storefronts, just leave them vacant.
right?
Anyway, because I mean, it's actually a pretty decent spot. The parking's not the greatest. I mean, there's like three parking spots on the street, but it's right by like where one of the popular breakfast and lunch restaurants are. So you have foot traffic going by there all the time, you know?
Yeah, the location is going to be good for it if you can get it. But yeah, I sure as hell wouldn't be like, well, I'll go ahead and rent both of them because you want to.
I mean, although I do have a lot of studio props, I probably need a storefront just for that stuff, you know?
Right.
Yeah. But
I,
anyway,
I wonder how it would work here because like if one like going full time to be a photographer for me would be insane. Um,
you're probably talking a pretty serious income drop, maybe.
oh yeah, and I can't afford to do that right now with the way things are for myself. So I'm where we're at, but I make really good income doing what I do, and then
Yeah.
so there's
I mean, I
it's
got
not like
lucky because I
I'm up and
invested
coming
well.
or deciding what I'm going to do with my life. I'm making good money doing what I'm doing, so I don't need to I don't need a side job. I don't need to do side hustle anymore. I was big into side and doing all that a few years back. I now it's like, I started my business with photography or the photography videography thing. I mean, it's a legit LLC
Uh-huh.
business I run, but it's I don't put I put zero effort into pushing for like getting work, doing something. It's like I get more calls, people wanting to sell me credit card services than I get work. It's like
I've
I'm
had
like, oh,
those
I'm
days
not
too.
interested. Well, how would you not want to increase your sales and your revenues and all that? I'm like, listen, there are no sales or revenues. Just leave me alone.
Oh,
But
the funniest phone call I get a lot is, uh, this is Officer blah blah blah. We'd like to thank you for your donation to the state troopers.
right,
And you're like,
yeah,
wait a second, I have never given you money.
yeah,
So I just go click. I'm sure they go, anyway. But
yeah.
you know,
No, there's
you
there's
know,
always
and
something. Somebody
I've
called
lucked
me for
out
that.
because I've invested well, so I've got an income, knock on wood, coming in no matter what I do. So
Right.
I mean, I can sit here and go, I don't think I'm gonna work the rest of I'm gonna take 3 or 4 months off, if I want to.
Yeah. Well, it's good
My
way to set
my debt
yourself
is
up.
low. I've got house paid for, 3 out of 4 cars paid for. Um, and the only reason that was not paid for is because my accountant says, well, you got to have a little bit of debt so you keep a credit rating.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you think if you had no bills, you'd be like the golden child, you know?
Oh, I know. If I could do one thing differently, it'd be like, okay, not go in debt and make the money I'm making now. That'd be great.
Ain't it?
Yeah. It's definitely, you know, I still have to work full time job and do the 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, but it's it's worth it. I mean, it's still it'd be great if something really kicked off, or if I really want to try to push this business and try to kick it up a notch and get it going. But I I don't have the energy right now to do the extra work on the weekends, or be gone doing that stuff in the evenings. I just it's too much. It's like
I know.
I don't need to do it. It's there if something comes up. I have an avenue and a channel to do it properly. That's nice.
Yeah.
I have the ability to do it, which is something I like having, but I'm not advertising myself. I'm not putting myself out there. If somebody needs something, the people that know me know to ask, and I've tried to do a few little things here and there that just people, you're trying to sell to them, and not really push it. So it's like, well, I can do it for you if you're ready. Well, let me know when you're ready, and they'll never be ready.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes you feel like if it ain't free, they're not interested. You know.
yeah, and I've thought about doing we're coming into beginning of school, so I thought about running some sort of like a little Facebook promo, do mini sessions or something, just to get my name out there a little bit more, and just bring in a little bit of revenue to help keep the channel and my stupid
Mhm.
little hobby going.
Hmm.
Because I have got to a point where I've tried to cut off my personal finances from all of this stuff. What little I make from YouTube and Amazon and jobs is what maintains this hobby going.
Hmm.
So try to do that. And there's lots of benefits to having it, uh, and maintaining it. But I've got to start getting. Still have to have money coming in, because there is a little bit of an overhead associated with it, between music licensing. That's a big one. My first year, I had full insurance and did all that, with the business. And then because
Hmm.
I wasn't doing any work, I wasn't really pushing myself to go do the work. I was like, I'm not going to renew all that stuff. So didn't do that. But if I do have the more work coming in and the money's there, I will spend that money to go push all that stuff out again.
Yeah.
And I want to really, what I really want to do with it is start doing like metal prints and doing like flea market stuff, or farmers markets type events, and sell prints and stuff. That's what I really like to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
is get those photographs printed and done, set up.
See, it's
That's
kind of like it's a little bit of the direction I want to go. I want to do more like fine art kind of landscape, and then pick up like a like Canada's got that one. Is it 17 by 19 or something like that, or it's 17 inches wide by I think 20 something long, and
Yeah,
and they're really nice printers. Oh my god! But
my buddy's got one that I work with, my coworker, because he's
yeah,
in the same. He does side hobby and does photography and portrait work, and he's got yeah, the 17 inch I think is what he'll do,
yeah,
and it'll do as long as you want. I think if you put a roll in it, but
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
gotta.
yeah.
But it's like 7 or 8 different inks in it, and
Oh yeah,
um,
it's a couple $100 just
it's a
to
nice
replace
printer,
all the ink.
but there's a maintenance to it too. If you're not printing it every week, you've got to run it through cleaning. You gotta be using it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then some of which you if you do like the tanks, there's like these like where it's like a cartridge that pops in with a hose and it hooks up to a tank,
Right.
and I think each one of those are like $85, and there's
Yeah.
8 or 9 colors
Yeah.
with a non-gloss black and a gloss gray, and I'm like, what the heck, I
Yeah.
don't know.
There's um you know I I should be looking at doing something like that for what it costs, because it's not the setups, $1,000 for that one of those decent
Mhm.
printers, and get it going. You'll spend more in paper and ink than the printer's worth, I think.
That's why it's
But I
really
mean, I've actually got one he printed for me. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Hold on.
cool.
Let's see if we can get this pulled out here. Yeah, so this is done on that Canon printer here, and it came out about as good as it could come out, I think, for the quality.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Get it in frame. So, I mean, it does do a really nice job with the color and the paper and all that looks really really
Yeah.
good on it. Um, so that's off one of the. I think it's a. I'll tell you what it is. I think it's a Pixel 1000.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Because Epson has the ones that'll do like 17 wide by however long you want to make it.
I want to say it's the Pro 1000 he bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, 17 by 23 and a half is what it'll do. And it says borderless printing at 17 inches wide.
Yeah. Canon makes some awesome stuff.
Yeah, and it's a nice printer. I mean, like I said, I've seen some of the photos he's printed for people that he's done, like portrait work for. He's brought some photos in to look at. And looks all really nice. He needs to get his butt in here. He's been in here before. He said I run this too late. Yeah, let's see.
They're not photo party animals like us.
Yeah, let me see if he's up still. I'll tell him to jump in. Tell us about it.
Man. Man, I've done so much work to my house though. I've got real estate agents offer me almost double what I paid for my house in the beginning. It's
Wow.
crazy, you know? And of course I tell them, hey, my theory is only way I'm getting out of this house is I die. Body bag. I mean,
Yeah. That will be. I think we'll be in our house here that we're in currently for quite a while. It's a nice house, so we're happy with it.
I like
And
the only thing I wish I wish the garage was bigger. You know,
I want to build a big shop for myself and put a car hoist in it and be able to work on my stuff easier and
thought I
do
had like
projects.
this house. I found a house out like kind of like out in the farm area kind of thing, and it had an old, pretty big, old time kind of barn.
Oh,
And what
really?
I was going to do is buy the house, take the barn, convert it into like a studio. Just walk, wake up in the morning, walk out my back door, go to my studio. Another buddy of mine that did that. And what he would do is photograph vintage cars,
Oh, yeah.
and he took I think the car was called Accord. It was like remember the Prowlers had they had the like the like the for the tires, the like, I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
little bumper, the open wheel
Yeah,
bumpers or
yeah.
open wheel.
Well, this it looked like this, and what he did was he bought like I forgot how much, but he spent all this money on these like giant square black and white tiles. He put them on the floor in his barn. Then he took the car and put it on top of that and used that as a background for the car. And then a green screen behind it and put the rest of the stuff where he wanted it, that kind of stuff. It was like, wow. I mean, it was just, I mean, it probably took him 2 weeks to get everything set up. I kid you not. But it came out phenomenal.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I want to build a big workshop. I go just want to get my garage set up where I'm at now, but I just got a 2 car garage. It's a little oversized, but
Yeah,
I've always done a nice workbench in all my previous garages, and this house is the first one I haven't done it in. I've been here pretty much the longest.
yeah. Well, I mean, when I got this house, what they did was they took all the countertop and cabinets from the kitchen they had upstairs and put it in the garage. So I got like this nice work area, put my cameras there. I've got another like a workbench, like to this side. I have got a 50-inch TV. I hook up to my laptop, and when I tether, it comes up on the TV.
Okay.
So it's like although sometimes I think when you tether, it's more of it's like sticking a knife in your foot sometimes. Because I mean, everyone's like, you take the picture, and everybody's going, "Oh, okay. Can we do it
Yeah.
again? Oh, that's okay. Yeah, can I do that one again?" And then I mean, yeah, it's digital. It's a memory card, so good grief, you could probably shoot 1,000 images before you have to get before you go like where with film you had to you know there's one roll, there's another roll, there's another roll, kind of thing.
You're right. Yeah.
I don't know, but
There's that guy that's on Roberts that does the weddings well, on film.
the drunk wedding photographer.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Does he have a channel?
I don't know. He probably does. I don't know. Um, I always laugh because I've been watching some of these videos on how to be a second shooter, just to kind of for a little bit of giggles. And they're saying how you should be never standing by the bar because they'll think you're drinking. Yeah, I'm like what? So, but then you start getting paranoid. You think, well, if I'm just drinking a regular Coke, they're probably thinking you're drinking.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know,
It's not spiked with rum.
I mean,
Matthew chimed
Trinity.
in.
Whoa.
You have to be more intentional film. Absolutely, man. I was actually looking for rolls of film just this last week because I've got these 2 film cameras that I want to play with and figure out
Yeah.
more with. But it's like even so. Target had, I think it was Fuji 200 was the only
Oh
thing they
wow.
had at Target for I think $7.99 a roll. But then the develop was another $20, for the roll, and it's
Yeah. No.
like I said, it's a luxury hobby at this
You
point
know
with
what's
film,
crazy?
man.
I mean, I guess you could, like what I used to do. I used to have the reusable canisters, and I'd roll my own black and white.
Oh,
You know?
okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
put
I
like,
definitely like the aspect of only having so many exposures in the camera, and going out to shoot with it that way. And I think it'd be fun, and that's why I've been buying all these used cameras, or old film cameras, is for the lenses, mainly to put on my A7R2. But I've gotten a like new copy of that Maxim 7000, and I've got that like new copy of that Canon AE1 now. So I've you know I want to go out and use them. I want to make sure the cameras still work and function, and I want to utilize them and still take pictures with them in this day of age. So I've been looking at trying to. I just got to make the order. I got to place the order for some film and some batteries for that Canon AE1. I have the Maxim 7000 up and running. It's on AAA's, and it does well. It shoots.
see
I
now the
haven't.
funny story about that Maxim is I have Minolta 4 flash meters. Minolta 4 used to have a thing where you could actually you do all the settings, you meter and everything, then you hit a button and it would send it to the Maxim camera and do all the settings for you.
Okay.
And I was like, why? Anyway, but I never
Yeah.
got a Maxim.
Well, I've got three Maxim 7000 bodies now. Buying lenses with them. Two of them are. I haven't tested them to see if they work, or they're a little beat up, or one's not bad. It's a good used body, but the one I got is like brand new, and that's the baby of the group, and it works and it functions and everything. It's taking pictures. I just haven't developed the roll yet. I've got maybe 10 shots left on that roll. I need to go out and just finish the roll off and get it sent in so I can see what I can do with
I
it.
had Canon E1s, and I went from that to Canon T90s, I think it was. I had a couple of those too, and then I ended up uh, picking up that was my first move to Nikon. I had a Nikon F4S. The body was titanium. I kid you not. I used to
Wow.
shoot when I shot for the newspaper. I swear, if they started shooting at me, I could have put that in front of me and stopped the bullets.
Right.
You know?
Matthew chimed in here. I converted a bunch of home movies from my grandfather's old Panasonic camera, 1996 to 2008 or so. That's the disappointment with phones, and most people will never have home movies anymore. That's so true. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I I still have. Uh, well, even I'm guilty with it, not filming enough with my cameras with the kids and everything. Like, even though I do all this, I don't always put it out, and I try to remember to pull it out for special occasions or and film, because it's so cool to look back on that stuff. And even like growing up, looking back at the stuff, from when I was a kid. And I did have a video camera when my kids were really little, and we've got a lot of videos I made um, from that time. But yeah, I mean, that's very true. Is with iPhones now, people take pictures with them or do videos, and they get lost and buried in the mess of data that we collect over the years, and it's not as special. Um, my wife's got a VHS tape from her childhood, and she was the youngest of all her sisters by quite a few years. And so there's one video of her three sisters that were all uh, preteen, kind of right there around that age, and she was barely starting. She was moving around on her feet, walking around, and but it's labeled the movie, and it's like them filming with an old VHS shoulder mount camera,
Oh my God.
and we got that VHS, and I've been converting them too. And actually, my VHS player, going through that recording, saving it because I was digitizing it. My VHS player took a crap on me, so I was like,
Uh,
deal with that. So I picked up another one I found at the antique store, a little Sanyo. It's a DVD to DVD, or it's a VHS to DVD recorder with HDMI out, and it didn't work. I took it apart and messed up the main board in it, so I pretty much screwed myself on it. But I bought this guy this clear click. Uh, which just like 100 and something bucks off of Amazon. But it just put in your video feed and it records right onto an SD card. Got the video monitor,
huh.
and I did. Yeah, it's one of my services I'll do in my on my business side too, because my first paid job was actually converting old home movies from an old family friend. Is also kind of in the business I'm in on my day job, and grew up with his kids, growing up because my dad and him were good buddies, and he hit me up to record all his old 8 millimeter stuff onto um, a video, and then I made a highlight reel for him.
Huh.
So I had great success with the Elgato VHS to DVD. Requires a VHS player, of course. I'll have to look that one up. Yeah, I was really hoping this VHS to DVD recorder was going to work, and it's going to be a hot ticket. And they're worth some money too. They go for on eBay about $300 to $500 depending on condition.
Wow.
And I picked it up for like $20 or $30 at the antique store, which is a great spot to find old stuff that's undervalued.
I found some pretty crazy stuff,
but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pawn shops around here for us are definitely not. They'll put an old camera up there that's worth maybe $150 and want the full 300 for it. They don't put stuff at the right values. So there's really, every time I go into a pawn shop, I've had bad luck finding anything decent. But the antique shops have been, because what they're doing in the antique shops, they're going in and buying out these what do you call it, the estate sales. You'll go out and they'll buy all these estate sale stuff and sell it. And I need to get out to the estate sales more often. I don't, but the last one we went to, I picked up a couple of the old L batteries, the Sony L battery. It's common for all these little accessories nowadays. There was one sitting outside on a table with a dual bank charger and 2 tall batteries. And $4. I bought it, and it's powering the light right now up there, and I've got like 12 hours on that light now. It never lasts that long on the battery it came with. So
I had talk about batteries. I picked up I think it's called a Works battery powered lawnmower. Okay. And it came with 2 batteries and 2 chargers. Now I've had this thing for like maybe 4 years or so. Well, all of a sudden, one of my chargers in the battery just refused to charge the battery, and then it wouldn't release the battery. So today I went over because Menards had them. I grabbed another charger and put the other batteries need to charge on that one, and I'm like, and for the life of me and about 4 other people looked at that dumb battery and the charger and can't figure out why it won't release.
Wow, that's crazy.
Get a sledgehammer to it, and I thought about it, but
yeah, my dad's got one of those electric lawnmowers, like an 80-volt.
Yeah, like mine's like a 40. Yeah,
man, that thing works good too. He's out of town, and so I've been going over mowing his lawn. And
as long as it's not like the grass is wet, it runs great.
Yeah,
but it gets bogged down by the with regular lawnmowers do it too. But I think what happens is the weight of the blade pushing through that. It eats the battery up like.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, his is like that ramp up. So if you're going through something light, it just kind of just buzzing along. It's real quiet, and then you get to heavy spot or a lot of thick grass, so you hear it ramp up and pick up its RPM a little bit, and it works. Chops through it good, but I've got a Husqvarna riding mower for my property here that I've got to mow. When the grass is all grown, I got a half-acre worth of grass to cut, so it keeps me busy. But lately, my grass hasn't been doing too good in the front yard. I've lost about half of it over the last 3 years, and I don't know what to do with it. So that's a whole nother topic of discussion for freaking grass and everything you can do with it.
I know. I hear you. I got grass too. Trust me.
But they work good. The mowers get through it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see. Batteries are one piece of tech I'm not sure they will ever be able to make better. I hate when my phone and laptop shows a low battery. Yeah, batteries suck. They they've got some new technologies out there that I think we're going to see developed with the EV car market,
Uh-huh.
but I don't think we're going to see a mainstream release for another 10 years on it. Um, Lithium ion's not going to be sustainable, I don't think, for the long term. I mean, all our little batteries are great for it, and I think lithium ion's been a great battery improvement for battery life and making things last and work. But I think we're going to see a new technology, new energy source technology in the next 10 years. It's going to be developed outside the EV market. Um, it'll be lighter and more powerful. The battery I'm most impressed with was on my motorcycle battery, which is a lithium iron battery.
Huh.
And
Yeah, everybody's saying those are supposed to be better than lithium ion.
oh, the lithium iron battery in a motorcycle was phenomenal. It
Yeah.
Now I bought this bike new in 2007. Every 2 years
Yeah.
I was replacing the battery under warranty. And for the first three batteries, because every time it was a BMW motorcycle, they would buy the bike came with a 3-year warranty. So the first battery was under the warranty. I got a new battery, and then that battery carries a 2-year warranty. So when you get the factory part, it comes with an additional 2 years. So
Yeah.
that one went out at like 23 months. So I got another one. And then on the third one, it was out like at 25 months. So I didn't get the fourth battery under warranty. So I ended up buying just a battery for it. And then it just, you'd have to keep it charged I mean, I rode my bike daily for a good long while while I had it, but it wouldn't keep it wouldn't keep a charge after a month or 2 months. So I bought a lithium iron. Oh, and when you buy it, you pick this thing up and you swear to God it's just a plastic case. There's nothing inside it. Like it's
Yeah.
so light. I'm like, how is this a battery? And I put it in there, and it's worked flawlessly up until the point I sold the bike, and I had at least 6 or 7 years on that battery and almost no mileage on the bike. Like it sat 3 or 4 months without being touched, and I'd
Huh.
go over it, it'd fire right up. And lithium iron on a motorcycle battery, if you do get a low voltage battery or low voltage on it,
Hmm.
they self charge a little bit. And when you put a load on the battery,
Yeah.
it heats up. And so, like if you go to start it and say like the starter just and it stops, well, you wait about 30 or 40 seconds, and that load on that battery will heat that battery up, and it's like self generates a little bit of power, and the next time you go to bump it, it's just boom, it
Oh
fires right
wow.
up. And
Huh.
I had that happen twice on a different motorcycle that I put one in, but they those lithium irons are the way to go. They're worth the money. You got to pay the money for them, because I think it was like a 300 or 400. I think I paid like at the time this years back it was like $300 for that battery, and I think you can pick them up for sub 200 now.
That's cool.
But
I want to know
worth
what happens to all these cars that are battery powered in 5 years if the batteries go bad on them.
they become worthless. I mean, they're gonna like I said, car. I think
Paperweight.
we had a discussion about this before, but cars are going to become a subscription based thing with all
Yeah.
these EVs coming out. It won't be a lease. It won't be. They're going to get away from traditional financing. I mean, people are paying so much money for cars now, and banks are willing to loan on it. The values have gone way up, and the traditional EVs or traditional finance is going to go away, and they're just going to sell you a monthly subscription. You stop paying, we turn your car off. That's what's going to happen.
You are 4 hours late. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean that's where it's headed, because they're going to be able to have the control of the cars to. I mean, they're already paying subscription on Teslas for more power or convenience features, and it's like all they got to do is flip a switch on it on a board somewhere, and you're shut off, just like your satellite radio.
Jesus.
So hang on to what you got and keep it fixed.
Well, either Nissan or Honda are coming out with a hydrogen powered engine.
Yeah,
So if that happens,
Benz was really big on developing hydrogen more than they were on their electrical when I was with them.
yeah,
They figured the future was more in hydrogen development than it was in electric. But they had to get with the times and start developing electric, so they jumped in pretty heavily with it right around the time I left. But um, yeah, they've got a whole
I mean,
fleet of
pretty much
electric
what,
vehicles
put
now.
put water in your tank and then the car runs on it, right?
Hmm. Yeah, it breaks down the water back to your two very flammable components, hydrogen and oxygen, and burns it and develops water out the tailpipe. I work do electrical design for an engineering firm. My boss was once looking into charging lanes on a potential project several years back, basically letting you ride in, but would charge your car. Yeah, I could see that being a possibility. I know years back they put sensors in the roads for cars to start driving off on autonomous tracking. Now it's all
Yeah.
done radar and visually, but it'd be definitely possible to do something like that with a charging lane that has a pad or a not even a pad, but like inductive charging.
Yeah. Well, a buddy of mine bought that uh, Mustang Marquis,
Oh
and
yeah.
then bought a. It's basically a pad they made for the Marquis. He pulls it up on this pad in his garage, and it charges the car.
Oh yeah. I've heard about that one.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like good old fashioned gas, man.
Though we haven't done a lot more with charging stations these days, especially for airport. Yeah, I imagine right now, depending where you're at, I know even in my industry with hydraulics, uh, Parker Hannafin is developing EV truck hydraulic systems now because if all these, like in California, all the diesel engines are going to go away, and all the service trucks that are like the electric, especially the electric companies, the man boom trucks, they have the man that go up on the wires and work,
Yeah.
service trucks, trash trucks, all these things that run hydraulics that need a constant energy source from the diesel engine. Well, if we go electric, the the the, the normal way of developing that power to the hydraulic source is now gone. So I know Parker Hannifin and corporation with Chelsea, well, they own Chelsea now, but developed a high voltage PTO system that goes in on these trucks and get wired into the truck's battery system. And it's got a built-in pump and everything all in one big giant magic box. It's got electrical wire plug-ins to it that come off of the big batteries off these big service trucks. And that's how they're running the hydraulics now to do the electrics. So it's there. The technology is progressing forward on that EV stuff, but the energy source has to be improved without a doubt.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
what's going to
definitely,
happen to the grids.
oh man, it's even here in Texas. I mean, we had that ice storm. I wasn't affected by it, but I mean, people not far from me were. Um, that lost power for several days in that big freeze a few years
Oh
back.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Um, it was bad. I mean, it was not a good thing here. I mean, we were faced with some really cold weather. Um, I was pretty well taken care. I mean, I was set up in a position where uh, I have a big house, but we have a gas fireplace. So if we lost electricity, we still had our gas fireplace. And if I lost the gas, I could convert back to wood, and I keep wood on hand just for emergency
yeah,
situations like that. But um, we had that, and then I also had my camper, which is an all-season camper. But I make sure every winter those propane tanks are plumb full. So if I have to, I can go out, heat the camper. We can live in the camper because it'll have heat and all that in it. If we lose power,
I've got
electricity.
I've, I've got a wood burning stove in my downstairs, what I call my man cave, and
Yeah,
there's been a couple times we had like 2 days with no electricity, and I just fired up the wood burning stove.
yeah. I love wood burning stoves. That and pellet stoves work really good. My wife had pellet stoves in her house when we met, and that worked really well. Her parents have had wood pellet stoves, and um, we would have put one in our house if we kept that house. But yeah, here at our house now, it's such a big house that it would be really hard to heat off of one of those heat sources. You could keep a room warm, but like in the winter, we run the gas stove, or not the gas stove, the gas fireplace a lot. But hell, I think I burn more in gas energy doing that than it's worth. But
Yeah.
it's a nice ambience in the winter, and it's nice to sit by and get warm, and it
Mhm.
does warm the room up quite well. And if you put a fan nearby, that pushes a lot of that heat out into the house.
So do too.
Marquez Brownlee had an interesting video on the solar panels the other day. What was ironic was he posted online that the power in the area went out, but he was good because of his 92,000 solar roof. Yeah, I mean, solar is definitely a good option. I think it's just a huge cost. Like you said, $92,000 is a big expense up front. Now, if you've got the money to invest in it, I think it's a great option. And the problem too, you got to remember with solar panels is a lot of these companies are advertising solar or government subsidies to get solar, on your house, and you'll pay like $20,000 for the solar panel system that they put on your roof. But if your power goes out, you don't have access to your solar panels, and the reason why is because you're still tied to the grid as your buffer and your energy source. So you're charging the grid when you're not using the power. You'll benefit from the solar panel electricity for your own home and household. But if the grid goes down, you lose your panels because you haven't put in a battery system. So if you when you see the big price variances from like a $92,000 panel system, that means you're self-sustained, have your own batteries and power source, and then if you're set up, you can feed back on the grid to get money reduced off that bill or earn a credit from the power company. Excuse me. You earn that credit from the power company, where they pay you for your energy, but you don't have. You have to have that battery system. That battery system and electrical system is very expensive.
Yeah.
And that's where you'll see a $20,000 solar panel system from compared to a $100,000 solar panel system. But if I was out living in the middle of nowhere, it'd be worth 100 grand to put in power like that.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned a battery system. Yeah, you have to have some sort of battery energy storage system in place in your location to be able to benefit from a solar panel system. If you don't, you're running off the grid and you're just subsidizing them and still feeding their energy into yours, but your solar energy has to go somewhere. And if you can't put it somewhere, then it's useless. Yeah, there's a lot of people around here they get those setups with like $15,000 or $20,000 solar panel setup, and it's just all you're doing is you may be saving some money because you're using that power you're generating, but um, you're just feeding back into the grid. You're still using the grid, and there's that crossover. How much energy is going in to how much is going out. That's really the only difference. Cooley, where are you located?
Hobart, Indiana. Where are you located? Hobart, Indiana. I don't know if you heard me or not.
Yeah, I think you did. It probably. Well, we got some viewers in the room. If you're in here, say hi in the chat. If you want to join us live, let me know. I'll be happy to send you a link.
No kidding.
Got some consistent viewership going in Montgomery, Alabama.
Wow.
I haven't had well, Matthew's been in here a couple times before. We've seen him on the channel. Um, I haven't seen anybody. I haven't seen Wayne in a while. Wayne used to usually stop in and say hi too. I
Yeah.
haven't seen him anywhere really lately.
You don't love us no more.
Yeah. thumping upstairs or something going on. Well, what's the next big photography adventure, Cooley?
Well, I'm still trying to get my. I got one project I'm trying to get together. I'm wanting to do portraits of veterans, and then do it as a book for
Mm-hmm.
like a fundraiser.
Okay.
That'd be kind of cool.
Like just portraits of veterans, or do you have something like a storytelling in mind? Or
Well, like portrait. Well, either or, but I mean, mostly just do the portraits. They have one page set up where they do the have like a quote, and then the other page is them maybe holding a picture when they were back in the war, had their
oh, cool.
uniform kind of thing, or something,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or both, you know.
yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
My next big one's going to be 2 weeks. 2 weeks away, I get to go shoot the sky again at night.
Cool.
So make a YouTube video on that too, I guess. That'll be so. I have the Seeking Darker Sky series on my channel, which has been hit and miss and been, what I expected, what I plan on making to what it actually turns out being are usually two different things.
Mhm.
Two different things. Hold on a second, okay?
Okay.
I should step away for a second. Let's keep it going, Cooley.
All right. Cool. I've got it under control. Yeah. Right. Anyway. Hey, if there's anybody out there, jump in the conversation here. Come on, guys. It's like that Pink Floyd song. Hey, is there anybody out there?
All right. Sorry
I
about
tell
that.
people jump in the conversation. As it's kind of like that Pink Floyd song. Go, hey, is there anybody out there? I don't think you hear me. Anyway.
We've got like a baby gate on our stairs that's, our kids are old enough to operate it, but we keep it there to keep the dogs from going up there.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
heard it slam open because it's right outside my door here. And I'm like, one of the kids was trying to get out. I had to go check on it.
Trying to make a break for it.
There you go, Cooley. Sad to hear Paul Rubens passing today. Reminds me of Chadwick Boseman keeping his health issues silent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned that earlier in the show about.
You should have the theme song Tequila, remember? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, getting back to, I guess I was talking about my Seeking Darker Sky series. It's something
Yeah.
I like to put it on. Like, it's like I want to make it episodes, is what I want it to be. And if you go back and watch them, if you wanted to, they're low performing videos. They don't do well, but they're
Yeah.
fun. And, I try to make it more of a higher end production video on my channel, and spend a lot more time editing them and putting them together. But it's hard without that kind of that kind of plan to what do you call it, a production plan, like going
Yeah.
out with the intent to do it and have a production plan in place, as well as doing the regular YouTube video portion of it and doing all the filming and camera work, and it becomes a lot very fast.
With AI, what you do is you have them AI alien spaceship landing,
Yeah,
dark skies.
yeah, I could do that. Put a little teaser in there for some UFO action.
Take me to your leader. Oh,
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun to set something like that up.
that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. How often do you use a 2 to 5 versus 6 to 9 ND? All right, so that's a good topic for me. I can go into that. Let me grab them so we have them in hand. The visuals for video. I remember. Show, don't
Kind of
tell.
like Vanna White with the letters.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Yeah, it's one of the hard things with YouTube is like you gotta remember to show, don't tell. All right, so I have that's the circle polarizer. I have all this Polar Pro stuff. So that's just a circle polarizer that I've got. But so my 2 to 5 stop ND is my preferred choice. These are the Peter McKinnon variable NDs from Polar Pro. They do work. Come on. I didn't see them darkening and lightening. So, and then the 6 to 9 is great if you're shooting if you're shooting anything higher than 2.8 or f3. You gotta darken up more than what you need, especially depending on your frame rates and all that. But there's a 6 to 9 filter, which is almost black all the way through. It's got kind of a bluish tint on the 6 to 9, and then the 2 to 5 has this kind of a goldish tint to it, and it does give a color cast on your footage. I've noticed when you're using it, when you're from 2 stop to 5 stop, if you're out in the bright light daylight. But I find I use the 2 to 5 way more than the 6 to 9, just because it's mainly I'm on my run and gun setup with it. And if I go in somewhere dark, I just quickly turn it to 2, bump the ISO, and I don't have to fiddle with it on and off. Purpose-driven shots, or if I want to shoot like a f1.4 out in daylight, you have to run the 6 to 9. So most of the time I'm on my f4, the 24-105, and I just have the 2 to 5 on it, and it's more than enough. I found with video, unless it's like I said, a purpose-driven shot where you're setting up for it, anything faster than f4 is too much fall off, too shallow of a field of view for most of the video autofocusing system. Now that has changed with the FX30. Since I've got eye autofocus, it's just snappy and works great. So I've been finding reasons to use it in the 6 to 9 more, but realistically, the 2 to 5 will get you by and do everything you need to do. You still have the shutter bump a little bit if you need a little bit more. It's safe to go up to, bump your shutter just a little bit to get that proper exposure. Most of the time, depending what you're doing, proper exposure is more important than fluid motion in your video. But yeah, I would say it's 80% or 90%. I use the 2 to 5 over the 6 to 9. And if I only buy one, I'd buy the 2 to 5. But if you only have like a prime f1.4 lens and you want to shoot fast all the time, then that's when you got to kind of ask yourself, what do you want to do? Which one do you need? But the 2 to 5 works well for me. It's handled every situation I've thrown at it. But I never noticed the color cast till I started shooting 10-bit. I thought that was interesting. But it says I got some people in the room, so I appreciate you guys watching. Try to keep something going here. Just past 2 hours. How you hanging in there, Cooley?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, I got Mountain Dew. I can go the distance.
Yeah, I've been on Dr. Pepper last couple of weeks, just a little bit, but I'm trying to lay back off of it.
Yeah.
I've got it.
Let's face it, all that stuff. I just tell people, you're not supposed to have that kind of stuff. And I go, Yeah, I'm just making the autopsy easier, you know.
Yeah.
What killed him? The Dr. Pepper. Funny thing, it was a doctor.
I actually received a 6 to 9 today from Polar Pro Helix series. I had the Sony 15-1.4, I think it is. I have to test it. Do you ever use the Polar Mist? I have not used the Polar Mist. A coworker of mine has the Polar Mist, and it does give that little bit of a finish to the video. I think it's subjective and who your taste is, with it. But the Polar Mist gives you that it's like a softness to the crisp, the like highlights or lights or anything. It kind of lightens it up a little bit on the edges with the mist filter. I purchased this. They didn't send it to me. Oh, sorry for the wording. Oh, no worries. You never know, man. You can get it out there. I think Matthew's got a channel, don't you, Matthew? I think I've stopped by and subscribed. Matthew, how long have you been at your YouTube channel? Let's see what you got on here. I'm just stalking you on your channel right now. I want to say, I know I've watched some of your stuff. I've watched some of your FX30 stuff. I need to watch your video on the 15-1.4. How do you like that lens? It's one I've been thinking about getting. The Creative Income Life. That was my. Sorry, I was reading it. I forgot to read it out. Not really. I have one called the Creative Income Life. That was my main focus for a little while. Do you do like photography full time? You on the side hustle there, Matthew? Yeah, I'm curious to ask, like, what do you find has been your best performing video? Was it product review, or did you have something else kick in? Because mine's always been product review that hangs in there the best. You gonna start a channel, Cooley?
After seeing all the grief everybody else is going through, I don't know if I want to. It's like,
dude, it is a grind. If you wanted to do anything, it is a grind.
I mean, I probably have more free time than anybody else does, but.
Oh yeah, that's right. You said you're an electrical designer by day earlier. I mainly focus on Amazon influencer, Amazon merch. Best video is a random Nintendo Switch game video on another channel of mine. 20,000 views. All right, that's good.
Wow, that's a lot of views.
I've got two other channels. In order, well, one's not active at all. It's just a username right now. But I saved the username, and then it's gonna be I won't say what it is because I want to keep them separate. But um, it's if I've filmed for it several times. I've made videos for it. I haven't ever edited and posted anything yet. It's kind of like, do I really want to push for two channels and see if that one kicks off better? Because it's a totally different topic and genre of based around automotive and me working in the garage essentially. Just one of those types of things. And those channels do better more. I think they're better than photography because there's a lot more common interest for a lot more folks. Um, and if you can keep up a series going with it, with like showing like a progress of a project or anything, I think it will do really well. So I've considered doing that and testing it out. So I've got the channel set aside for it, but I haven't produced any videos. I filmed lots for it, but
You know, I think you want ratings and all that stuff. Adult movies.
you know, it, yeah, I've got the camera and the talent.
Well, what's that one guy's name? Ron Jeremy. Dude, if he can do it, anybody can.
Oh, geez, yeah, uh, that's something I probably won't be putting out there anywhere. I'm sure there's a YouTube for that kind of thing, though.
Bro,
YouTube is hard, but some people seem to get appreciated more with the algorithm. I have a friend that started as a drum cover channel, now does mini golf full time, over 300,000 subs, I think.
oh my God.
Well, there's definitely, I would say, now is still a great time to start YouTube and start doing it. Um, Matt, I'm looking back on your videos here. If I'm seeing everything back correctly, it looks like you've been at it for about 3 years. Um, and I see myself and what Matt's got going here. Just trying different things, trying to put some stuff together, and it's a challenge. It is very very difficult. Um, the algorithm does pick up on what you have or how you're doing. Um, it's stuff that I'm not interested in, so I don't sit down and learn the algorithm side. Like people talk about tracing the algorithm and doing all that. I could care less. I put a video out. If it doesn't perform, doesn't perform. If I make a video that does perform, it works. Um, so uh, yeah, it definitely you got says you have to put the effort in for sure, which I haven't on that channel. My other channel has about 1,200 subs. Yeah, so if you're doing stuff, um, you know, doing multi-platform videos, I think would be really hard. Multiple channels. You can't do it just one channel. I think it's possible, but you're going to spread yourself thin, and you're going to have only so many people interested in this, so many people interested in this, and you won't have a solid platform. So I think it's important to have one thing that you're niche down into. So mine's Sony photography. It's kind of where I've kind of landed myself, and I know Sony product fairly well. I own a lot of Sony product, been a user for them, so why not share that? And then
Yeah.
photography side, I'm hobbyist. That's what I put the channel as, and I don't have the newest and greatest stuff all the time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But equipment I buy, I usually buy for a long haul. I don't usually, you know, swap it out really quick. So, um, and then of course I have a third channel, which is my production company's channel, which is where I put all that work. And that one I don't ever post regularly to. It's just people that subscribe to that are the people that are coming to watch a video and they subscribe to it. And I don't want. It's like going live with this. I thought, I should probably blast my Facebook page. Hey, I'll be live tonight at 9. But I'm like, I don't want all those people on Facebook coming in here just because I said I was here, or people I haven't seen in years, or associate me with more of my personal life. I don't do that. So that's why I don't do it that way. So I've got my Facebook page for this channel that I put it on, but I have 0 followers and 0 likes on that. I don't do anything with it. That's what I started talking about tonight. Is I'm going to start to get something rolling with it. It just hasn't materialized yet. But it's YouTube's fun. I mean, it's and I'm doing this live thing is a lot of fun too. I enjoy sitting down and putting the effort into this. Is very enjoyable, relaxing to sit here on a Monday night, just chat
Yeah.
and have the evening to just hang out, and it works well. And I see where, like, I think even Chuck at AP Studios, he started making videos on YouTube, but then he went to live, and that's all he's done. And um, I'm surprised. I was surprised with that platform that he's only at where he's at uh, with his subscribers. Like, I'm surprised that's as far as he's going, because he's about 1,300, I think, with like I am. And he's not very um, blowing up for as popular as he is with everybody that's coming to his channel regularly. So,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of these live platforms you get to where you're just getting the regular people all the time, and uh, I'd like it to grow. I love having you on Cooley. It's great having you here and hanging out. And, um, I'd like to get some regular folks. And we've generated that regular kind of stream every Monday night where we got this kind of people coming in and hanging out, like Matthew and uh, Trixie Gaming's been in. I haven't seen them tonight. Yep, Chase Two Rabbits catch neither. I'm really just posting to post now, but I do notice some videos get over 1,000, which is cool, but doesn't mean anything. As long as it helps someone, it's good. Yeah, that's the name of the game, man. Just try to you get a question, I try to answer it, and YouTube's the second largest search engine in the world. So people are always looking for something, and there's a lot of people out there in this world. Yeah, I read an interesting statistic though. Let me pull it up so I make sure I don't butcher it. Okay. Let's see. Cooley, that is actually getting pretty loud over there.
What, the ceiling fan?
Yeah, whatever you got running, man, it's pumping along.
What's your?
I don't want you to burn up, but it's pumping. It seems like it's really louder when you move forward on the desk too.
I don't know.
It
Can you
must
hear
be
it now?
how it's so. That's it's there, but it's a lot quieter.
I don't know. It does, like, little loud, not loud, little loud, not loud. Oh, by the way, answer Matthew's question.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that,
still using Nikon D750s. I got 3 of them, full frame. But I mean, I shoot 90% just stills, weddings, commercial, whatever. Tell people if it's moving, I shoot it. But
yeah. You make it still.
I make it still. I make it stop.
Yeah. Well, anyways, one of the interesting statistics I was researching the other day about YouTube and channels is how many channels are there? Um, there's a little over 100 and almost 114 million channels.
Wow.
Now, that's 0 subscribers or more. So that's every user that's using the platform essentially,
Yeah.
uh, that have an account on the platform that will watch videos and not do anything with it other than that. And then there's still the people using it as a search engine, because you'll see YouTube when you do a Google search, YouTube videos pop up in that search too.
Uh-huh.
And those people don't have to have an account to view it. But what I found was interesting was people that have 100 or more subscribers to the channel is at 28.4 million, and if you have 1,000 or more, you're at 10.1 million. So not a, I mean it's 10% essentially. You're basically in that 10 to 11 percentile. If you have 1,000 subscribers or more on a channel, you've got you're up there on the list. Now of course that's still 10 million people ahead of you that have a lot more subscriber count, but uh the real breaking point is the more is the people that have 10,000 or more subscribers is 2 million. So um that one milestone to get to 10,000 seems like a lot, but it's doable, I think, and not hard. And you got to remember that YouTube's going to be a fluid thing. People are going to be coming in and going out, and the people that have started it are going to maintain it, but they're not pushing the content like they have in the past, say, and they're pulling back now, and that's opening the door to a lot of us little guys that have the opportunity to step into those roles, and that's where it's going to be crucial to have the content being pumped out to be found. And a lot of it's just being personable in front of the camera, and being comfortable talking to this inanimate object that is it's a weird feeling. It's a lot easier when you're live talking to other people, that's for dang sure. This interaction live has helped me tremendously in my regular YouTube videos, because it's much more natural and easier to talk live to somebody, to the camera, than it is when it's just by yourself in a room and you're like, I don't know what to do. So,
Talking to your imaginary friends.
yep. So yeah, I mean, it definitely it's helped me tremendously being on these lives. I've seen a huge improvement in how I interact with the camera otherwise. And my biggest problem I always try to remember is stare at the lens, not the screens. And I always try to remember to stare at the lens like this, because I find myself talking, staring at the panel, and listening, and that's a really, so there's no other way to do it, unless I guess I can get uh, I need some sort of one-way monitor screen. I can put the lens up there and behind it.
Yeah.
I guess I could use a teleprompter. I got my teleprompter. I want to try that maybe. I wonder if I can get. It's big enough to run a big iPad Pro on it. The teleprompter. I wonder if I can put this stream onto that, and then I'd have the screen there with the camera, and I could look at it when I'm watching everybody else. I'm gonna try that setup maybe. That might be a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
That recent Mr. Beast interview was very intriguing. His approach to video is so interesting, even hooking someone in shorts talking about the first few frames. He's supposed to test like Netflix, I think. That hook is so incredibly important, and it's something I've been watching my analytics really carefully on, try to see like what videos, why, I go back and rewatch my videos and find out why did this video do as good as it did, and I rewatch it, and I'm even personally, I'm impressed with some of my videos in the past that I'm like, man, why can't I make a video that good now? But I try to just figure out like, okay, what worked in this video that got people's interest? Was it just the topic, or was it, because nobody else has made that topic, or what? But it's definitely, I mean, something you got to look at and feel out. The hook, though, I don't know. It's. I'm not a storyteller. I'm not a photographer or videographer by nature. I'm learning, so I had to figure out, like, to me, everything is linear in its layout, and I think I had to start here and finish here. But that's not how an edit works. You can talk over here and here and here and put it all together into a nice fluid video. And the guy I think does that really well. If you watch him, is Potato Jet. Gene, he puts together a video by bouncing around these different places so well, and I was like, I need that kind of creativity in myself, because that's convenient work for me. If I'm doing a review on something, I don't have time to sit down and review it just one spot. I need to be able to set the camera and review it here, review it here, review it here, and talk about all these different talking points, and then lay it all out into a nice, thorough video. And I really like the way he edits his videos together. He's done a really good job with it. And I've been watching him for a very long time. He's almost about to crack 1 million.
He's
He started out doing cheap travel vlogs or something, like showing like true cost to go to Mexico
huh.
or Costa Rica or something is where he's got his start, and he started just doing YouTube videos in his apartment. And then but he had a production company. He knows his cameras. He's really into the cinema and the Hollywood scene down there in LA. So he knows a lot of people now. And then of course his channel blew up, and um, he's very intelligent when it comes to the actual cinematography and cameras and how they operate. And he gets in, I don't know if you ever watch him, but he's gone in with like Airy Alexas and stuff into their factories, and he's had people from Airy on this channel talking about their lenses, with $90,000 lens, and it's pretty cool stuff. But yeah, it's definitely developing that hook and really watching your analytics to see why people are dropping off. Like look at a chart and see, do I still have one on my own? Let me find one of my other videos that. For some reason, my live from 2 or 3 weeks ago got like 200 views, but it's not registering on the analytics. It's only showing 90 views. I don't know why. It show everywhere in my analytics shows like 200 views on that video, but then when I actually click into it, it only shows 90. I saw that tonight. And I was like, why did this one do so well? I was like, geez. I'll get one of these Mac ones. Oh, that one did okay for the bad as it did. Yeah, it's like trying to maintain a video is somewhat successful if you maintain 50% viewership past 30 seconds. Is kind of what they say.
Oh
wow. That's funny. I was looking at it and I'm like, I forgot I did that. this shot in it. What was my opening on this? That's been so long. Here, let me put it up there and just play it. I can play my own stuff. This is me unboxing my stupid ad. I should get paid double on this. I'm running on my live.
Wow.
Can't remember what I did here. The quality's really poor because it won't let me stream it in 4K because I'm live.
This is my new Sony.
That was fun. But like this video, like it's got 180 views, 179 views. It didn't do great. It died off for being a new model. I think it was just to me the problem was it was too hot a topic for my channel size, and I felt like I didn't get the performance off of it because there's so much of it happening. There was no way I was going to keep up with the demand on it. So without having the camera there at launch day or something, it was like it was old news, so I don't think it did well for that. And then of course, it's just my experience with it. But in the analytics here, it shows it dropped off at well, what's it? 51% at 30 seconds. So it was okay. And the people that did come in to watch it, I had about, 20 to 30%, viewership throughout the video once they were in it. So the people that showed up to watch it watched it. But, a lot of these drop-ins, like you always wonder on this drop-in, like, are they just getting an autoplay from whatever they're doing? And then is it dropping off and dying because because they didn't intend to watch the video, All right, we get back to comments here. I guess that large of an audience comes a lot of pressure. Yeah, that guy, Mr. Beast, he's got some crazy. There's a guy out there who's got an editing, and I don't watch him enough because I pick and choose where I spend my time watching videos nowadays. But I subscribe to him. What the hell's his name? Hillier Smith. He's got 320,000 subscribers. He's only got 61 videos. But he's got some really good editing techniques, and the few videos I've watched of his, he's actually got some really good information in them about storytelling and getting that hook with people. And he's edited for, I think, Mr. Beast or that other guy. I don't follow all those guys, but I know he's done work with them, and he's got that kind of work that is what he does. That Hillier Smith, Hillier Smith, all one word. Some good information if you haven't found him yet. I saw a very powerful photo, though. It says at the top, it only had 100 views. Then below, it showed 100 people in a photo. Yeah, I get that. That's very true. You think about, I don't have 100 subscribers, but put 100 people in a room, and those people are, found something interesting with you that they were willing to subscribe. That's a lot. I think of 1,300 subscribers. Out of when I post a video, well, let's look at this last week's video. Because I subscribe to people, but I don't ever go back to watch them. But they earn a subscription from me if they did something that's beneficial to me, or they had good information, or they answered my question. I subscribe. That's usually what I'll do. And let's see here. Where am I going here? Oh, wrong space. Let's look at my video I launched Sunday. So my analytics are in finally on it. So I've got average percent viewed 24.7%. Looks like I kept about 50% at 30 seconds. I was at 50% or so. But the audience here. So 51% of the people that watched it. So I've got 44 views on it right now, 43 views on it. 51% were subscribed people that came back to watch that video from me. So that's, still 20 some people showed up to watch my video. And I see that constant average is on my channel. I've got 20 to 30 people that seems like that are coming back to watch me out of that 1,300 subscribers. And they're consistent. Now that it takes them, I see it over a week, that growth, and I don't see who's who coming in to watch it. All I get is that percentage bar of who's come in, but it's been pretty consistent there. But yeah, definitely. 100 people in a photo is a lot of people, and we get used to seeing these low numbers, and you start seeing bigger numbers, and it definitely adds up there. We losing you, Cooley? I think we lost him. Cooley. It's not the first time this has happened. I've seen this happen before with you. I'm going to mute him for a little bit here. Get that. He's got some noisy fans going on in there. All right, we got. I'd like to know how many people watch that are not signed in versus those who are signed in. Yeah, I don't know. Does it track analytics as a viewer? I imagine it does when you're not subscribed, or you're not when you're not signed into YouTube and you're just watching as a guest, because you can't comment or like, I don't think, of anything unless you're signed in. I'd like to see that analytic too. See, let me go back to one of my other videos and see if there's data on something. Let me go to my big video. Let's see. I got over 100,000 views on that one. Let me see what it shows. Audience. So it just says not subscribed, 99.5%. 0.5% of viewers were subscribed from the views, which sounds consistent because I have 600 subscribers. Well, that's just people who watched it. So when they watched it, they weren't subscribed probably. And let's see. Yeah, it doesn't give you any kind of analytic to show you. Well, I can see reach. Reach will tell you location. So I think your best bet's look in your reach category. Let me put this up. Let me share this. Under reach, it shows your traffic sources. So you can see YouTube search, which is most likely somebody's logged in on a YouTube search at 55.9%. And then suggested videos are probably people that are coming in to watch it from YouTube. So you figure that's probably, it's 85% now. Browse features is your 10.3. So somewhere in this 10.3 and these last 3% or 4% here, I would say is you're not signed in people. Let's see what else we got to see more. Yeah, I don't see. So my guess would be you're looking at the browser features or other YouTube features or direct or unknown would be your area of people that are probably not signed in. In general, I would guess, because you got your YouTube search and suggested videos. People are most likely signed in to watch YouTube under those categories. That'd be my guess. So. So Mr. Beast talked about. I read it silently. I'm sorry. No, I don't. I'm gonna read it anyway. This is what I do. Mr. Beast talked about having the channels with different languages. Do you think it would help to find that countries are watching most and then add captions in the language to help? Yes, I do think that would help if you have high enough viewership. I think the it says you're not on screen, but in the meta. Well, I've known there's some other like doctor channels I know of that like will have multiple languages or multiple channels in different languages or whatever that seem to do really well. So they may have a big channel, say 1.5 million subscribers, but then they got 3 or 4 at 300,000 or 400,000. So I think it definitely will help, but I think you have to really be marketing yourself for that long haul, I believe. Cooley needs another Mountain Dew, it looks like. Let's see if we can. So let's wake him up. See if we can. Let's do some clapping. That didn't do it. Let's play music. I know I see camera videos in other languages that look interesting, but I have no idea what they're saying or when I select captions only, their languages available. Yeah, I get what you're saying on that. I've seen those videos too, where like, oh, I'd like to watch this, but you have no idea what they're saying. I think it really just comes down to your platform. Like how much are you really benefiting from it? I mean, having the captions, I guess, would help, but I think at our level, I would say it's probably not worth the effort. Would be my guess. But I'm surprised how many people from around the world come in to watch, because I've had, let me see here, on my main channel analytics, because I've got a lot of viewership out of dashboard. Yeah, I went down a subscriber since doing live. That works. I was at 1317 earlier tonight. Now I'm at 1316. That's so funny. It's weird the way it bounces up and down. All right, let's see. I'm at so this is what's weird about the analytics is it just hidden data that they're not able to see, like location of people not share. I think it's a lot of it has to do with settings of people's not sharing their information. But it says only 28% of my views in the last month came from the United States, while 6.5% came from the United Kingdom, 4.8% came from India, 2.4% from Canada, and 0.9% from Germany. And there's a good English population in all those countries. And there are views all the way to Australia, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, Netherlands, France, and Italy, which are all sub 60 views in the last 28 days. Let me bump it up to a year. Let's see what it says. So on the year, it shows I was 32.5% on the United States. So, and about the same going down. So I don't know if it would be beneficial or not. I guess English is the most popular language, so it's probably not worth the effort. Cooley is out. Yes, he is out. The music pumping, jamming, and everything. He passed out. He said he was good to go. He had Mountain Dew. He needs another Mountain Dew. Nothing like bringing down the live channel, Cooley, and fall asleep during it. It's all good, all good. Oh, yeah, I think I'm going to run for, get it over 3 hours here. So are you still you shooting your FX30, right, Matthew? What other cameras are you using other than the FX30, if you have any? There he is. You awake now, Cooley?
It's almost midnight here.
Yeah. You've been out for about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
We have the music pumping and everything for you.
Oh, well, a Cooley lullaby.
Yeah.
Man, you need to come out to Indiana, man, and hang here.
Yeah, man. Well, there's how far are you from Ohio?
2 hours maybe.
Okay.
2-ish.
Well, that's the most likely unprofitable thing for me to happen is to go to Ohio for training. Lots of training classes in Ohio. Well, outside of, is it Detroit? Yeah, Detroit.
That's cool.
So, yeah, if I end up there, we'll have to meet up somewhere for an
Yeah.
evening. All right, so I asked Matt, I said, have a GH5, if what other cameras is, I have a GH5 and a Canon SL1 or 2 that I started with. Okay, that's cool.
Wow.
He's got the FX30, I believe. What's my work schedule? 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. That's my work schedule.
As it should be.
It was like, 60 hours a week for a while, but I finally got put on a salary. I don't have to work those hours no more.
Hmm.
And I thought, I got all this time to do YouTube now, and I don't have any more time.
Darn.
Yeah. Jeez.
All right, dude. I am going catch up on some sleep.
Yes, sir. Well, we're going to push through right to midnight and get my 3-hour stream in tonight. At least do that.
That's cool.
So we'll appreciate having you on the show, sir, and
I
good luck. I hope something happens with the studio, man. I hope they get that worked out for you.
I don't know. I mean, and now I found 2 more spots that are kind of cool, but I don't know.
Yeah, Matthew's out too. Matthew, have a great night, sir. Appreciate having you on, and we'll be talking with you. We'll see you on the next live or the next video, man. Thanks for stopping by tonight.
Good night, guys.
Good night, Cooley. Appreciate you. We'll see you. I'll probably see you over on Roberts maybe if I get on there on Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Have fun, man.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Sign up for Amazon Influence. Oh, yeah, I have it. Yeah, I've got it. It's it goes. All right. Let's see. Well, you have a good night, sir. I'm going to push through here for a little bit longer. I don't know if anybody else is still watching or not, but if you are, let's do something. Let's see. Let's talk about a picture. Got some photo in here we can talk about somewhere. All right, we'll do a sneak peek of what I'm going to be working with here. Let me see if this one's all right. Yeah, this will work. All right, so this photo was my first attempt at this shot, and it was. This is at we'll just call it a ranch. We'll set a ranch and private, can't access it, so I have access to it, which is nice. But this is the first attempt at shooting the shot, and I like the shot. This was shot in winter with a full moon, so it had a pretty well lit sky. You can see the clouds were lit up by the full moon. I did do some darkening and star enhancement on the top of this image, up on the top. And then I lit it with my Rotolite Neos. So I've got, which is what I'm currently lighting with. I got them plugged into power in a softbox. I made a little Rotolite Neo plug-in. But anyways, I did that, and I lighten up the Rotolite Neos up down the canyon. So I get light on this wall, and this wall is a creek here, so you get the mirror reflection happening if you can't tell. But this is the water line right here, and it's about probably at this level, it's probably 14 foot deep at the deepest points. But anyways, this was my first attempt at this shot, and it was a good shot. I liked it. It came out well. The wall looked good, and I liked it. And then let me pull up my other one and see if I got the second attempt. I don't know if I have it on file or not. Let me see. The second attempt was Yeah, I probably do have it here. No, that's the same image. I don't think I have it in here, honestly. I have to go to the YouTube video on that one. I got prepared enough to have my photos all available for me to look at finally, but now it's a matter of finding the dang things. I need to get them set up by location and shoot and event type and all that. I bet you it's on another hard drive because I did that one for a Seeking Darker Skies episode. I'm willing to bet that all my final photos were saved on that file, and I don't have them in here. In fact, I know I don't. I've been going in and out of this file trying to find stuff. So let me see if I can find it on YouTube. Did I close that? There it is. All right. All right, so I'm going to go back to my YouTube. So my second attempt at this photo was done. Get into my channel here and find this video. All right. This video's, let's turn the volume. Let's go. Let's go on here. So this is my first shoot with the A7 III, and the A7 III was borrowed at the time. It ended up being the one I bought, but the quality would kick up at least 720. There we go. Yeah, private ranch edition is what I called it. This is all a private ranch. I know the owner on and come out here. So, anyways, it's a lot of space, but this rock wall has been one I've been wanting to shoot. Turn this down. The focus thing on this A7 III shot, some PSAF. Yeah, no shit. Focused on the steering wheel. Like from my perspective, I thought the steering wheel was like totally out of frame, but it wasn't. Anyways, putting it together. So I'm gonna be doing this shoot again here in 2 weeks. I'm gonna be trying again, and I'm hoping the sky's clear and we have a nice image here. So let me get forward here to the rolling in on the ranch. It's a little ways back there, and then anyways get to the rock wall here. So I'm hoping I at least get a better setup than this. Like so, this was done a while back, but I had the whole evening to do it. I was no rush, and I was dealing with the cloud, so I took my time getting my lights set up and got some of my preliminary stuff done. But I want to make sure that I film it better, and I use the FX30, a little bit better than I did. Of course, like I said, this is the first time I got to use the A7 III for video, and it was just kind of winging it the whole way. So I want to have at least somewhat of a plan for this next shoot. And like I said, it still is one of my bucket shots, and I'm hoping I get it this weekend. And what it is, I'm going to fast forward here, is this image here. Oh, come on. Well, anyways, the images are right here at the end. This is kind of the scene that we're getting. A lot of clouds. We wanted to see the Milky Way coming through, and that's my thought. So here, so the Milky Way core is right here, where it's right where I want it to be with this rock wall. And I want to shoot it a little bit wide and, get the more of the rock wall dimension there. So it's there. And it was getting later and later. And so as it gets later, it moves further and further to the right. So obviously that's not going to work very well. So you have to get it somewhat early in the evening, probably about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night to get it in the right position. Because after that, it keeps falling to the right and it'll keep falling out of your frame. As you can see here, the core kept moving out of frame here to the right. So I've got to definitely hit it right and got to get it set up. But this is what my final image was, the rock wall. So this is the rock wall lit with just the Mios at 1%. And then I ended up just compositing this image because I didn't get it. So here's my image. Oh, come on, pause. All right, so yeah, this is my basic image that I had, and then I just composited in a previous shot I shot with a 24 millimeter into frame. So that's what I want to capture, but it's going to be all natural. I don't want to composite. I don't want to do anything like that. It's something that I want to get. So that's what I'll be working on here in a couple weeks, and hopefully have a nice video to do with it. I'm going to start planning it out. Getting everything laid out and ready to go on that. So that's the plan. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun trip. I was gonna go down to the Terlingua, Big Bend area. There's a canyon in Big Bend that we wanted to go shoot and do that, and there hasn't been any. There's no materialization plan for that yet. And then of course this deal came up back over here. I'm definitely going to be checking that out. So that's the plan for the coming weeks. So, all right, guys, I'm going to call tonight. I think I might have a viewer or two kicking around. If you are, say hi, man. Let me know you're here. But otherwise, I'm going to call tonight, and I'll be back next Monday night, 9 p.m. again, and we'll talk more about the video coming out on Sunday when that comes out. That's something we'll be doing. And let's see, I don't really have anything else. So unless somebody jumps in on that chat, I'm going to wrap things up, I think. So if you're here and you want to talk, hit me up in the chat, or if you want to join live, we'll keep it going. But otherwise, that's about all I got for tonight. So next video, next Sunday morning, will be out as long as I get it done. I got to still edit it. So I started that process and getting it edited. It's got some major clips in it. I got to shrink down and puzzle piece it together because the way I had to shoot it. But once that's done, I should be all set for Sunday. And then the following video, I don't have one yet. I've got a laundry list of videos I need to shoot and film. I think I have an idea what I'm going to film. I might try to film it tomorrow night. Be a good time to do that, and then dive into that video. So at least I have something else to work on. So, like I said, give you guys a minute to chat it up if you want. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a night, guys. You're pushing 3 hours right now. Had a pretty good show. I appreciate Cooley stopping by and hanging out with us on the live panel. That was very much appreciated. Always fun to have him on the channel. Matthew Pate joining us in the chat. If he's got some other videos out there on his channel, you want to go check him out. Check Matthew Pate out. And thanks for stopping by and watching. I appreciate it. Appreciate each and every one of you that stopped in and watched tonight. And I'll see you the next Monday, 9 p.m. Central. do my lives, and I try to do my video uploads on Sunday morning around 8 to 9 o'clock. So when I usually try to do a scheduled release. If it's not there, it's where it's coming out at, unless I put a special note up. But that's all I got. Anybody else has anything else to add? We'll hang in there another minute. We'll start closing it out here. And you guys have a great evening. We'll talk to you later. See you next video.